it easy.
Uh,
Fat too much.
well, given everything that I do and all of that, it's a miracle I'm not sleeping for 48 hours.
You
That would
do
be
realize
great.
how much I actually do, right?
Well, I mean, it would be great to get 48 hours of sleep, but at the same
It's just like,
token,
we're supposed to sleep 8 hours a night, and you think about that, and yeah,
Sure.
8 hours. Holy shit, that'd be over 50 hours a week. Yeah, that ain't freaking happening for me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who the hell that's happening for. Hell, I'm doing good if I get a third of that sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Sleep? What the fuck is that? I mean, oh, wait. I'm sorry. I forgot. That's the thing you're supposed to be doing in the bed when you're not having sex.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. And yes, this is me making Diamond Dart while making crude, inappropriate comments. You guys think this is bad? The other day, I was playing the stupid Hello Kitty World game while I was watching a deep dive into the Manson family murders.
That's a juxtaposition there.
Hey,
I don't think they went well together, but it worked for me.
hey,
Mhm.
Bullet Silence, what's up, buddy?
Go ahead, Anime.
Hey, Bullet Silence, welcome back from your 3-day music festival. I bet you are tired. That's how my legs are after 3 days of the anime convention. That's how my legs are, and I'm just like, I just want to sit down with all my friends and everything, and like, I don't want to do anything. Wait, I have no snacks. Oh no, I gotta walk to the kitchen, so I have to like literally, like I have to do that. Well, my legs have gotten better over time, but when I first did the convention, I had to like physically lift and move my leg and move the other one and then move the other one and have to painfully use the desk to
I get
stand
what
up.
you're trying to say, but when you say move the other one, then move the other one, it sounds like you're making a third leg joke. I mean,
You're funny. You're funny. Also, hello, Callie. Hello, Sarah Outlaw George. Big Tell, I sent you the link. You're already good. Last week we had I had Bullet Sound Son for only an hour because that was a lot of fun learning what he does and everything. Really fun, really interesting dude to talk to and learn about.
I would say one thing we need to focus on a little bit at the beginning of this is just absolute prayers for the people in Texas right now.
Yes, I heard about that. All our great friends, including Jasmine's from Texas, so hopefully, I know it's in the Dallas. I know she's in the Houston area. But still, most
of what this hit is actually an area with a kids camp, and it was mostly little girls who passed away.
Ooh.
Yeah, I saw a time lapse of it just pleasure in the
Our thoughts and prayers are with them.
Just wiped out the entire area.
Did they stay?
Horrible because this area has had a flood before that also killed people, and they knew that, and the people actually downvoted fixing it up for flood mitigation, saying it was too expensive. So,
well, that's a price tag look like now.
Yeah. It's really, really tragic. So I'm not a big fan of spending, but there are some things that are worth the freaking money.
Yeah.
Mitigating flood safety for fucking children is worth the money.
Yeah.
It is for anybody, honestly, but that's even worse.
Where about this land?
Thank you, California. I love doing my diamond art stuff. Oh, I did these for my mom because my mom is an obsessive quilter, seamstress. She also collects sewing machines. So I made her these ones. I'm going to take to her when I go see her next. Look at these.
Aww.
For her artwork for her sewing room.
Okay, the area is...
Aren't those awesome?
Yes.
Yeah, Liz, there is like northwest of Austin, right, just about right halfway between Austin and San Angelo.
Oh no, you're not you're not ignorant, bullets. Yeah. So what happened was, I believe this was over the 4th of July holiday. I
Well,
think correct me.
the last of it happened early this morning, actually, where the worst hit.
So basically, a flood in Texas washed through an area and it swept away a girls' camp.
Yeah.
A girls' camp from because I'm trying to make sure I'm
That's
reporting this correct.
that I saw on it. The admin who runs the camp died trying to get the girls out.
Yeah, I'm just making sure I have
Milano
all
River
the.
going right through town.
I'm just making sure I have all the information correct here. But
Yeah,
so
the last report I saw was almost 70 reported dead in that camp area.
Yeah, thank you, Perminator. There was a severe flash flood in Texas. Thank you for that.
I'm in Cedar Rapids here, and we have flood mitigation to some level. And so when we had a massive flood that flash flooded in 2008, we managed to get everybody out in time, which was amazing because over that month that was flooded here, it did almost $2 billion in damage downtown. Literally.
Okay, I'm guessing it's got to do with the Milano River Lake. That looks like they did dam it up some, but I give it.
Cape Mystica is the place where most of it hit. Mystic. Cape Mystic is where most of it hit. And I've been through floods before. I've been through fires before, and I'm just absolutely heartbroken for these people. And I'm really just trying to tell people, I don't care your politics, the things we can be angry about that were not handled right on both sides for this place to be safe for these kids. We can deal with that later. Right now, just send support to the families. Send people. Anything you can do to support the families is bad. The amount of people I've seen arguing politics on posts where families are announcing their daughters that died in this is disgusting.
Yeah, people say, "Oh, Texas, they deserved it." Fuck you.
Yeah, and I've seen the
other.
Fuck you
with a cactus, you cocksucking little shit. You're gonna gloat over kids getting killed.
You and I sat there and called out the other side when people that were supposedly conservative were gloating about California too a few months ago. So I don't think it's a one-sided issue, but the people that gloat or try to make deaths or tragedies or natural disasters political, really, I don't care what side you're on. I don't care what your beliefs are. Yeah. If you sit there and gloat when people's lives are in danger or what people are dying or other shit, you deserve a pineapple up the ass in hell, Little Nicky style. Okay, fuck off. I don't care. Don't you ever gloat about other people's misfortune, you monstrous pieces of shit.
Okay, flood map. Where is that?
And I know, Bob, I've been arguing with people, and I'm as far from the MAGA as you can get, and I'm still arguing with people telling them to knock it the fuck off today.
Yeah,
I am sick and tired of it. I don't care.
I saw it late. I saw the comments late last night, like screenshots of it, and I'm like, and the day I've been having, the last few days of my mood that I've been having, I'm like, these people are pushing me to get my account banned, so that's why I've been posting comment redacted by the FBI just to prove what I would have said would have warranted as felonious.
Yeah,
because it's hard. It's so hard not to. Look, I believe in
like swallow a hand grenade.
Yes, yes. Yeah, that basically. It's very difficult, but yes.
Yep. This is the thing. I am so sick of people. I do not care what your alliance to whatever political, social, religious, anything else side is. I don't care if you're the hardcore leftist atheist. I don't care if you're the most religious conservative on the block. Christian, Muslim, whatever. If you celebrate the deaths of children or don't care about innocent bystanders, even in war, you can have your sides you believe are right or wrong. But if you celebrate civilian tragedies, children that die, or glorify tragedies or natural disasters, special place in hell, fucking swallow it, bitch. Sorry.
Yeah.
Little bit of a rant.
Yeah,
That
it's
was so
looking like what I
funny
thought.
seeing
That
people do this shit.
Hey, Big Angry Pill, what's up, buddy? Hey,
they said
everybody, what's
something of
up?
a dike on that river, make a lake there, and the dike failed.
Yeah, I looked it up, and they had 11 people die there years ago, and they had a bill pushed to reford the water in the area, set up better flood mitigation, better emergency systems, and all that, and the people voted it down, saying that it's a lot of money for a place where very few lives have been lost. It's like, fuck you.
Mhm.
And it was the same thing. And they rebuilt a camp for children in the middle of a flood zone after kids died there the first time.
That was years ago. We're not going to happen again. Guess what, asshole?
And all I can think about is the city I grew up in is Rapid City, because they had in 72 a massive flood that destroyed downtown and killed a bunch of people. And it was absolutely horrible. And the response in the area was not only not to properly mitigate the flood and the spillway and the dam and everything that go through town, but they rebuilt the whole area that was flooded and destroyed, full of apartments and housing for low-income people. So it won't be a few hundred that die if it floods again. It'll be thousands minimum. And that stuff just scares the hell out of me. And I am sorry that I'm not very chill on this. This one just, I really, please pray for these families, because my heart's actually really breaking for them. So that's why I ranted a little.
Don't worry, Impersonator. We're still in
We'll
the chill.
get there, but for now,
we're still in the chill vibes. It's just I'm allowing my co-host to rant a little bit just to get it out of her system.
And because it's a genuine rant of love and chill devotion to these poor innocent people.
No, I just sent up the time lapse of that when it happened.
And let me pull it up real quick. There you go, Bob. I got you.
This is just. Again, this is this is just starting. This is looking normal. This is downriver, and then whoom.
Ooh. And that's how fast it goes, ladies and gentlemen. That's how fast it
goes. That is
like that before, and it is terrifying when it happens. Yeah, I have run up.
You think it's just like you think it's just this, that, and the other, but then it's like, oh crap.
So this is sped up quite a bit, but still, I think I probably slowed.
Yeah, but you could see people also having to back up repeatedly because the water was just flooding up to their feet while they tried to talk.
About 6:30 in the morning,
it did happen
6 o'clock in the morning, we heard some
quick,
thumps.
So I've seen stuff like that before, and it is absolutely just terrifying when it happens.
Crystal kitten.
It's not the big Thompson flood where a wall of water comes charging down the canyon, clearing everything. No, but it's like whoopsie. It's like, hey, that's coming kind of fast. Holy crap, that's building. I mean, get the hell out of here.
Yeah, I do agree on that one, Callie. Yeah. I do agree on that one.
Well, that could come down to which side of the street does your local council member live on, or local politician?
Yeah,
that's usually
where speed. But I feel like, and also the film Dante's Peak also captures the flood as well. When
they glamorize a few things here and there.
You know, they do, but but on that scene alone, when the bridge really goes, that's actually a perfect representation of that.
No, back
like you think a bridge, people think, oh, the bridge, we're gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine on the bridge. Not happening. Not happening, honey cake. Not happening.
The worst tragedy, the worst fatalities to this current flash flood happened because it suddenly rose overnight again while people were sleeping in cabins at like 4 a.m.
Yeah. It's like, bridge? No, the water's over the bridge. It doesn't matter, if the bridge is even still there.
Yeah.
These things generally don't handle very well with suddenly the dirt underneath the bridges being eroded away. So there goes your supports. Yeah. But no, back in the 70s was something, Big Thompson Canyon out here. And had a big earthen dam up there. Well, there were some problems saying, hey, we'll be fine. Flash flood. took out
Life.
houses, I think they're just recently finally gotten the freeways repaired. So you can actually go through there, but still, like, no. It was.
I remember the really horrific flood that we had in 08 here, partly because there was a couple that ended up talking to the media about it because they literally lost their home, which was on the hill and not supposed to be in the floodplain.
Yeah.
In Iowa here during that flood, and they literally had moved here from the south after they'd lost everything in Katrina.
Hey,
that was horrible.
That's the thing. Maybe it's you.
Hi, buddy.
Hey, David.
Buddy. And also, hello, David.
Hello, Pops. Hello, Anime Eagle and Captain. How's it going, boys?
Good. We're just talking about. We're just discussing.
I just heard about the flood.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
We're just trying to send some support to the poor victims.
Yeah. I really hate that it's brought out the political people straight away.
I hate that we haven't had a tragedy happen in years that doesn't instantly have people on either side making it either political or talking shit about the victims. Because it's been years. I have not been able to see a tragedy happen without people just talking shit about the people and making it political.
Yeah.
It is sickening. It should never be done.
There was a big flood in China. And the first thing is victims of climate bleep bleep. And it's like, China has had floods for thousands of years.
It's like, how about we not make sure we just send support to poor innocent victims who are losing their lives or everything they own? Yeah. It's like, even in the whole California fires, the people I saw making fun of celebrities that lost their homes. I don't give a shit who they are. If their home burned down, if they went through tragedy, oh my God, I'm so sorry. One of the ones was everyone making a big joke about Paris Hilton. I hate her guts. You've heard me rant about this. But the fact that she actually was reported and known that she had to flee her house on foot and lost one of her dogs in the fire. And watched it burn down.
I don't like her either, but I never wish her house to be burnt down by some arsonist who wants to take a political action.
And that's what happened is a fire happened, and then a bunch of psychopathic arsonists went, hey, let's increase what's already happening and make it worse.
Yeah.
That's sick. That's so evil.
But they think now that the original fire was started by arsonists.
They think it could have been. They're not sure yet. So I'm not going to say for sure.
Because the thing is the environment out there, the fires start normally. Just naturally, just boom. So
I grew up in the...
You have dry wood. You have places that do not clear timber. You have places with trees up until the house. You have homeowners who have piles and piles of garbage outside the backs of their houses because they're not allowed to burn or clear. Okay, I lived in bushfire country. We used to have regular fires to burn out, and then the Greens came along and said, you can't do that, you're ruining the environment. Now look at it.
Yeah. Well, guess what? This is what it's like to live in nature.
I can point out something here because I grew up in the mountains. I grew up in nature. I grew up in the places with this. When I was a child in the Black Hills, we had constant logging work that was specifically done to maintain the forest, keep it from getting overgrown, help protect the animals. We were really good at keeping conservation numbers on all the animals until certain person took office and wrote a executive order saying you can't do any logging in national forests. Yeah. Then within a few years, everything was a tinderbox. Everything was overgrown. You were having outbreaks of pine beetles and destruction of the rare species of animals and all this other shit. And it was removed 6 years after that first executive order. It was overturned by the next president in another executive order. And in 6 years, it did so much damage to the forest that it has taken them 20 years and counting to undo everything that was done. And
the problem is activists do not pay the price. They don't care. They don't pay the price.
Think it through. Oh, no. Look, there are houses there. We're already interfering with nature by being there.
Yes, and,
So
and
guess
I'm
what?
sorry, but if mankind is going to be in an area, then we have to replace in the ecosystem what our presence changes. And this is something, honestly, it's more of an issue with the leftist eco people, but I've dealt with this with some of the hard right and the people who are less about eco protections too.
Yeah.
We need a common sense middle ground. Yes, we have to protect some animals in some places because of issues. Yes, we need to minimize our imprint, but we need to look at all things, not one or two things, and actually truly minimize it.
Yeah.
Yes, but the problem with the political sphere is the hard left and the hard right are not enemies. They're competitors.
Yeah.
And they'll unite against you.
The windmills and the solar panels cause massive ecological damage to the environment. And they cause massive cost of issues. And if anybody has been through what I've been through, where you've had to sit there with a dying eagle that got hit by a blade of a windmill, it's not fun.
And they don't produce enough energy to make it worthwhile either. So
no, do you know they produce less energy than in their lifetime than they do to make?
You know, actually, they've tested it, and those giant wind turbines like that, which should not be painted sky colors if you're going to have them, because that makes it harder for animals to detect them and avoid them. But B, they've tested them versus versions built off of the old style windmills from the Renaissance era that are tiny. They produce the same amount of energy if they're produced with modern technology. For the tiny versus huge, same energy output.
So definitely the point of diminishing returns.
It is. They're beyond the look. I have heard this argument time and time again, and I really, really hate it when they say, "Oh, but Reagan." Okay, I don't care what happened in the past. If Reagan made a mistake, why are you continuing it?
Yeah.
That also, because I opposed as a little child with my parents. We opposed the things that he did wrong then. Why should we continue the wrong processes for decades later?
Because we have to do something is their argument. I'm convinced the left are evil. They want destruction. They want evil things to happen. They know these windmills are bad, but they still embrace them.
I would say the hard left. I don't think most moderate leftists and most actual leftists who aren't extremists are actually evil. I think they're misguided. But I think the average person who falls from center right to center left is decent. I think the extremists are the problem.
I don't think there's the center left or center right. I think it's just the center.
It's gotten so polarized now. It's hard,
But it's polarized, at the edge, at fringe. But what I'm looking at is I actually, back in the 90s, I was working on these towers, okay? I was designing and trying to get them built. And unless it was this huge, massive project, politicians didn't care. The left always want their huge icons, okay? They want things to be iconic.
Well, this is what I'm bringing back to my account. This is what I'm doing. My constituents. Mine's a piece of shit.
I've had so many people sit here and tell me, "Oh, you just don't understand how solar systems work." It's like, okay, my husband actually designed them. He created the first system that could run a solar system off of a device on your phone back before smartphones. I've done technical writing for solar systems for those official projects. I know more about this shit and the environmental research on it than most of these fuckers out there running their mouths.
No, you've forgotten more than these idiots will ever know.
I don't know probably much more than the average person on solar panels, but I know more because when I talk to them about diminishing returns or the you know about the solar cooling effect, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the ecological damage it does to soil and the drying out of soil.
And there are some solar panels that are really well built, have minimal impact, and last for a long time and don't cause all this stuff. And there are others that aren't. Industrial solar is fucking destructive as shit. It destroys the environment. Small, well-designed ones for somebody to put on their house, not an issue. That's a personal choice.
And it actually reduces their. It actually reduces their. It does reduce their AC cost because the house is naturally cooled. But you stick it. But here's the thing. We're now clearing more land per day than Brazil was at the height of its timber industry, than the timber industry. We're clearing more land for solar panels than the timber industry ever cleared.
Iowa here recently put up a solar farm, industrial solar farm, that every single person around it opposed. Now, they put this up in a location that had a nuclear plant until the recent disaster. It was made inactive from derecho damage in 2020. They put a industrial solar farm there, spreading across almost 50 miles instead of having that nuclear plant. Now, here's a lot of the issues. Every single person there opposed it. It has caused massive animal destruction to a nature preserve that's right next to it. It is also in the middle of the migration path for the endangered trumpeter swans. And it is causing injury and death to them.
I'm convinced they don't care.
No, there's this one scene I saw from Yellowstone, and yes, it's dealing with idiot, but it's a good scene. There were board of advisors and said not allowing him to put up an oil well on this piece of land because it'd be detrimental to some little animal that lives there, and yet they're pushing to put up a solar farm there, which would devastate the environment for this little whatever the hell it is.
But no,
this is the problem. Then the scary thing is about it. You're serious about this. You're fired. Okay.
Yeah, this is the problem, right? And it goes back to no matter what I say or what I do, people out there are so obtuse. Okay, they do not care. You can push, and I'm not going to bring up the conspiracy theory that Russian bots for the last 50 years have been demoralizing the West because the West is doing it to itself. They didn't need Russia.
The phrase is useful idiots. Okay, that's exactly what they're being.
Also, real
they
quick,
don't need to do it to ourselves because they're that big of morons.
Exactly.
Let anime talk, please.
Real quick. You're welcome, Bullet Silence. Figure I help you get your channel promoted as well and everything. That way you can post links to your channel and help, and that way we all help each other. You're welcome. Continue, guys.
Yeah, and this is the thing. You guys know I'm opinionated as shit, but we can get along even when we disagree. Even though I would say if I looked at the group I'm with here, I am definitely not in agreement with you guys on a lot of issues. We can understand each other. We can respect each other because we understand that we're reached our opinions through actual education, through actual experience, and through tolerance and compassion, as opposed to these extremists who are doing it purely for political show.
Theater. Yeah, political theater. Absolutely. Look, if you're wrong about something, you eventually change. I've never met most people who do that. Okay, most people I meet are obtuse and obstinate. To the core that they know they're wrong and they don't care.
I don't understand that.
That is the problem with society.
You just keep going back.
People who know. So much.
Yes, solar panels have increased in efficiency, but the cheapest ones haven't.
Still
and most people buy the cheapest panels, which are garbage from China, which produce only. Now, there's a thing. There is actually called I forget the name of it. It's a law. There's only so much sunlight per square, okay, on those panels. Those panels cannot exceed 1 point something kilowatts. So
that number has gone up some with the modern technology, but again, you can only increase that so much within the range of it until we come up with the technology that we don't know.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know. We've reached solar efficiency. Okay, the best panels, they cost 3 times as much as the average panel, but they are the most efficient. There's nothing better. Okay. And those panels are not cost efficient. That's why most panels are garbage. And another thing, the most expensive panels, they're thin, they're light, but they're fragile. But
there are ways to get more cost efficient. There are some companies that are doing really good jobs of making panels out of recycled materials that they also sell at a discount to different areas with high sun and stuff like that. There are ways to work around it, but they're few and far between, and you have to really know what you're doing and really know what to look for. If you don't, you're going to get suckered, and you're going to spend more money trying to operate this than you're going to get back from it. I'm not against solar when used properly and when produced properly. I'm against, I'd say, about 90% of what's out there on the market that's solar, because it's not used properly. It's not made properly. It's not operated properly, and it's not efficient.
Yeah, but also they're often the cheapest materials, which are not efficient at the start. And see, I have panels which are rated at 1.5. That's peak efficiency, right? They average 1.2, and that's in 6 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So for most of the day, they produce less than they can. Right down for some days, even bright sunny days, they're sitting at 0.5. Mm-hmm. Some days they're down to 0.2. There's no way of knowing sometimes, because the panels are. This is what a lot of people don't know about solar panels. They're not just affected by heat; they're affected by wind, because they get surface cooling.
Yes, wind affects them, heat affects them, cold affects them. They're not very optimal in winter also. So if you're in an area that has much winter, that also costs a huge chunk into your operation system.
No.
Even if you keep them clear, the temperature and the winds that winter creates kill most of your efficiency. Yeah. I'm in Iowa. I've worked with the solar companies and a lot of the solar projects and the locals and stuff with it. They literally get about a third the power in winter for the same amount of sunlight that they do in summer.
But you also know the angle of optimal power is 45 degrees from center.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And so in winter, when you have less angle, you have less optimal exposure.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And there is an issue where if you have more than a few solar panels, it does start to cause issues for the birds and the animals that live where you are. So yes, actually, while it's efficient for your house, if you get them right and you get a good deal to put a few on your ceiling, if you get too many, it creates heat pockets, sun glare, other issues that can affect the animals that live near you too.
Yeah, but where you get the worst outcome is when you have the linear systems over barren land, because that land becomes because I forget exactly how it creates it, but it increases the salt content because of the electric fields.
The solar farm in California, you can see from like 100 miles in both directions on that interstate.
Yeah.
It is so bright. It is blinding and a hazard to traffic in midday.
Yeah, but they're now finding under those panels and the electromagnetic field is attracting and trapping salt in a magnetic bubble.
It is. It's also creating so much shade under those panels that animals that need that sunlight aren't getting enough, and birds above are getting burned just trying to fly by it.
Yeah.
There's so many impacts on the environment and so many little things to consider in this kind of stuff.
But again, you have to literally shove it in people's faces, and they still say it's better for the environment than coal. And it's like, really?
Well, that's your fallback, coal. Come on. Yeah. We have learned a few things since 3 Mile Island about nuke plants.
Again, coal can be done more efficiently and with less waste. Oil production and drilling can be done efficiently with far less waste. So can fracking. The technologies doing this have improved so much. The natural damage by doing them is so much less than it was when I was a child.
Unfortunately, it's the lack of international agreement to have a minimum standard that is actually... Because, again, the companies claim profitability. Yeah.
Which is the problem with EVs, besides all the other issues of, they're not feasible in rural areas. They cost a lot of other power. They break down faster than others. They're more expensive. All that stuff. Put all that aside and claim it was the most efficient car for everybody out there and that it would travel long distances without all the other issues. Most EVs use lithium batteries produced in third world nations through slave labor of children, and it's the most environmentally detrimental process in the world of any energy source.
Well, I I don't know, but if you say, but I'll take your word for it because it's up there. It's definitely up there. Lithium and cobalt are definitely up there in the realm of toxicity to the environment.
That's
of course, you always have the liberals who say, "Oh, but we can do better." Really? That we can do better with coal?
Yeah.
And by the way,
we got plenty of coal.
I'm going to say this also here. Looking at, let's be really honest here a moment. I'm in a very rural state, and this is the most populous place I've ever lived out of many states I've lived in. I've grown up in swamps and deserts and mountains and all these rough terrains and stuff like that. When these people talk about efficiency of rural access with EVs or these kinds of vehicles, and they start trying to explain it to me, I'm sitting there going, now, where are you from? Okay, you're from a country that is half the size of my home state with 30 times the population of my home state.
Yeah.
You don't know what rural fucking is.
Yeah.
You don't know what rugged terrain and barren landscapes are. You don't understand how unlikely this is. Just like when they bash on, well, red states are sucking up a lot of the money from federal stuff. Okay, it's how much of that's to the interstate system for all these people from blue cities to go back and forth and treat us like a speed bump? A lot of it. And it's like, yeah, you look at South Dakota, you have a state with less than 1 million people. Most of it is impoverished. A lot of it's reservations. You have almost no state income, and everything there's a low cost of living. But what you do have also is this massive interstate system that stretches this really long state, multiple directions. That's all part of that federal funding for the state. But we're not benefiting from that. Only the people treating us like a speed bump and being assholes to us are. So, yeah, they count that against us. But that's not our spending,
Yeah. It comes down to democracy, where the city votes for privileges for the city.
Yeah.
You don't have a democracy. You have a plutocracy where the majority vote for themselves, when the majority vote to rob the minority.
And nowhere is that actually more shown than all of these rich white liberals in these big cities voting for policies to take money out of the coffers of these small states with high Native populations, high Hispanic, high Black populations, and rerouting it to their cities and their upper class shit, which they do all the time.
Look, I don't know if it's the same in every state, but they did say the top 5 states in America, right, spend the most, and 90%, I think the worst offender is when New York City absorbs 96% of the state revenue. I think it's the worst offender. Some say it's 86, but I don't know how the discrepancy occurs. But still, New York takes more than per capita than, New York citizens take more per capita than any other citizen. Well, and they say how underprivileged they are.
Let me count my upbringing as a rural chick. Let's count the states I've lived in. Montana, most of the time, 90% plus of the funding goes to the state capital at Helena, even though there are multiple cities that are almost as big. You look at South Dakota, almost all of the state income is made by the Black Hills and Badlands through tourism, through all these different jobs and stuff. But almost all money is routed over to Sioux Falls and Pierre for East River that doesn't even fucking contribute. And the people in the Black Hills and on the reses are left impoverished through high taxation. Yeah. Same here with Iowa. You work outside of Des Moines, you get very little of it back, but yet the highest income ratio and the highest production ratio for Iowa is Cedar Rapids, not Des Moines.
Yeah, but the city says, but we need those services.
Yeah, and it's like, so if you want to talk about that, then let's talk about that. And let's not cut services for veterans and elderly and stuff like that in order to cut costs. So we can cut costs to all these rich assholes taking money for shit they don't need.
Yeah. Look, the biggest drain on society, I'm sorry, is education. The students are not even getting a fifth of what's spent on education.
And it's not because of the money. It's not because of a lack of money. The U.S. is spending more per capita education than any other
Your number one
industrialized
on
nation, but we
spending-
have horrible education system because it's all about propaganda and big coffers, and it's not about the actual money going to the schools and to the students. I did outreach. We did donation packs for kids, back to school backpacks. If the schools made these for the kids and they were done through the federal program, in the time when I was doing this, they charged $600 to $1,000 to the federal government per backpack that went to the students. I could get the back to school sales at the store down the street and buy that backpack with all the supplies for less than $40.
Yeah.
Where are they using all this money?
Yeah.
And the Department of Education. Second time it's been tried, by the way. First time it was killed back in the back in the early 1900s.
There was a big hoo-ha about it. The left and the right are both corrupt on this issue in most states, and that is school lunches. Most countries don't have them. That's true. But you're not feeding the kids. Okay? Most of that food is garbage.
And let's be
Kids are
very
left
clear.
hungry because
there is
they
something
don't
wrong in a system where I pay. I'm infertile. I've been trying for 20 years almost to have a kid. But yet I'm paying more because it's based on property taxes, not usage of the schools. I pay more for the fucking schools in this city than most of these mothers that have 5 to 10 kids in the schools in the inner city.
They're subsidized.
Because they're subsidized and because they get a tax break for every kid. So they literally get money for having kids in the school while the rest of us pay for it.
See,
and I'm told I'm heartless if I have a problem with that.
Long ago, anyway. Yeah, I said, right, I wanted to flip the entire political system on its head. One of the things I did want to get rid of is say, right, if somebody's capable of having children, they are exempt from the school tax. Okay, school has to be separated like medical. Okay, medical and school should be a separate tax. Those who have private schools don't pay the school tax. Those who go to, once their kids don't go to school, they don't pay the school tax. It only should be paid by the people. Of course, then the parents say, "Oh, but it's going to put our costs through the roof." Yeah, but you're making.
But they're your kids.
Yes,
they're your kids. I should not be paying $5,000 to $10,000 a year, literally, for schools that I could never use. When I could be using that money to actually save up and actually try to find a way to adopt a kid or do in vitro. But no, I've paid literally almost $150,000 in school tax since we moved here.
See, that's the thing
I could have gotten a kid with that great amount of money.
Giving infertile couples options, right? You say up until 35, right, or 45, right? You have all these options. After that, if you don't have kids, you pay the higher tax. If you're capable of having kids, you pay the higher tax. Otherwise, you don't. But those who had kids, once they're finished, they don't pay the tax either. Once those kids are out of school.
The only problem with that is that I really don't want the government tracking who's infertile.
No, I think
but I'm saying
in the open market, you find a pretty decent kid for that amount. You got most of his limbs.
I'm saying
it always comes down to you have to get there has to be a middle ground somewhere, please, because I get this all the time. Oh, I don't want this. I don't want that. And then they say, oh, but I want this fixed. I want that fixed. We have to find a way to get to a middle ground and say, right, here are your rights. The government cannot expand or contract without the 75% vote or whatever it is. But basically it comes down to, I think there is way too much subsidies in society. I think school teachers and, when a school teacher's getting $54,000 a year and complains they're underpaid, look, the average wage is only $26,000.
Mm-hmm.
Now that has changed a little bit. Teachers are getting close to most of them, unless you're in really poor schools, are not getting that low money anymore. But B, also, yes, the average wage has gone up closer to the 30 to 40K. Costs of living and all that are going through the roof. And I'm not going to argue that point. I mean, look, I am very aware that me and my husband are not technically in the low earner producing area. But with all
also,
my medical and with all his medical and with all the things that we have wrong with us and all my restricted diet and everything else, I'm not exactly keeping any fucking money either.
No.
Yeah. But one of the reasons, look, it's not just one thing. I don't think it's just one thing. I think there's just way too many employed by the state, and then you've got the federal government. Look at Minnesota recently. There was the security guard. He only worked 30-hour weeks, and he was earning over $100,000.
Here's the other part that gets me with this whole situation on this. Cost of living has to also be considered in this. Cost of your medical, cost of your disabilities needs to be considered when they're weighing what earner bracket they want to put you in. But also, if you're not in the low tier, if you get screwed medically, and you get screwed way beyond your means, way beyond your income, way beyond your ability to survive. I got news for people. My medical, since me and my husband got married, has cost him almost $1.5 million.
There is a strange, when it comes to medical.
Let me finish real quick here. I had to take a breath. I'm sorry, but the thing is, if you're listed above poverty line, no matter what happens to you, no matter how much you get screwed over, no matter how much cost has occurred because of things you didn't do, you're not eligible for help programs, for food banks, for any of this shit, for tax breaks, any of it. You don't get any help, no matter how bad you get screwed. Yeah,
because society is so... let me finish on this. When it comes to medical, it is so strange because society seems to operate in absolutes where you have a cutoff point where you think, oh, yeah, he earns over, let's say $56,000 in some states. You must be rich. And it's no. And you've got to add up every cost. And that is what you're saying, I believe, that you've got to look at it as every cost. What is your... And everybody's going to be different. So we have to restructure these programs based on your, the net, not the gross. And that would benefit the people who need it and take away from those who say abuse the system, like people who take their babies in to get washed by the doctor because they don't have to do.
Okay, so my husband technically is in the top 20% of earners in the U.S. I can't work and earn money with my medical. My medical is expensive. My medical was not something I caused myself. It was stuff I was born with or stuff that was done to me against my will as a child. How is that held against us? And that's
where I say exemptions are... I'm not against exemptions. I'm saying they should be based on the net, not the gross.
Yeah. It's like, I don't have options here, and I didn't do this. I wasn't out there partying or doing self-destruction or eating a bunch of shit or anything like that. That's not how I ended up like this.
There are states where drug users abuse the system, costing the states millions of dollars and we're
heartless if we don't want programs to help them. But yet, people like me who are literally disabled through no fault of our own are treated like, well, you have income, so you don't matter. It's like,
these drug users, they say, oh, what are you going to do? Let somebody who overdoses die? And I say, he chose to take that drug. He should choose. He's accepted the consequences.
Wouldn't say to let them die because there's a lot of issues with that, including the fact that there's a lot of stuff being put in things that they didn't consent to taking too.
If the guy's overdosed over and over again, at what point? You cannot save everybody. At some point, you're going to say...
You can't save everyone. I'm going to say, give an effort to save them, sure, but you can't take that at the expenditure of other people who also need help, who didn't do this to themselves.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. At some point, you've got to cut them off and say, right, you've chosen that life. We've saved your life 6 times, or 3 times. We're not going to save you again. You're going to overdose, you die. That's it. See, the problem is because so many people do not suffer the consequences of their actions, whether it be the idiot who advocates for a solar panel on someone else's land and watches that land go to waste and become a wasteland, they don't pick up cost. It's the same with migration. all these Brits are saying, we didn't ask for all this migration. Our kids can't get jobs because they give them to Poles and everybody but Brits. And it's going insane. How many people around the world are paying the price of failed policies because I'm not blaming the rich. It's not always the rich. It is usually the middle class who want their fancy restaurants, who want to walk down the street and say, "Oh, look, there's a kebab shop, there's a cafe, and there's a," they say, "Oh, society was too bland. I want variety. I want my options. I want to feel like I'm on a world cruise." And then we don't have
options. We have a whole bunch of shit that's the exact same thing from 50 different companies.
Yeah.
The options are all fucking fake, but I'm going to answer to Bullet's comment there as politely as I can here with respect to it, because
hold on.
I know so many people who've been screwed by NHS, who've been denied care, charged things. They don't count. NHS does not cover disabled veterans of your military. I know so many people who are veterans there who are being denied medical care, and that's wrong. But the other issue with that is that part of why all these countries have their government health care paid for is because all these medical companies are overcharging the U.S. to make up the deficit those countries are creating on the stuff they make and produce.
Yeah.
We're paying a subsidy in medical for every other country. We are.
What you're doing is subsidizing doctors that earn 10 times the average wage for insurance companies to earn billions of dollars a year. You are literally being robbed by the NHS, and you sit there and say, "Oh, but my free healthcare." It is not free. Once upon a time in the 1950s, you could go to a doctor and pay a tenner.
The big thing I was commenting on is because a lot of these countries that have the subsidized healthcare or the government healthcare, their required rate that the companies and hospitals are allowed to charge the government, they program it. They cannot charge them more than so much for certain machinery, certain medications, stuff like that. The government tells them what they're allowed to make. And a lot of the time, it's less than the stuff costs to produce. So how they make up that difference is they go to these countries where they're losing a deficit. They take the numbers and they add it to the cost for medical care in the U.S.
Also remember, the NHS is dealing with a population of about 60 million.
And the NHS used to be subsidized by British coal.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that to badmouth British people or the NHS. I understand your system and stuff, but it doesn't help in our situation in the U.S. that we are actually paying a premium that's used to help support all these other countries.
So much fraud, waste, and abuse.
Oh God, yeah. The thing, the UK population is about 60, 65 million, depending on how many people come across a channel overnight.
The other issue is I grew up in IHS.
Million. Okay.
The other issue is I grew up in IHS. I don't want the government anywhere near my health care, because the reason I am as fucked up medically as I am is because of government abuse and mistreatment, and most likely medical experimentation. I won't know because they destroyed my medical records, literally.
Yeah, ask any veteran about them dealing with the VA.
Yeah, and I will tell you people the same thing I've told people before is if you grow up in the poorest tribes and all that stuff, and you're dealing with IHS, where I grew up in South Dakota, you have veterans and natives on the res who will hike and hitchhike 100 miles through the desert to get to the VA clinic to avoid IHS.
Which is a sad commentary.
Public schools are funded properly. There's too many teachers. Your textbooks cost way too much. And who was profiting off textbooks? Merrick Garland. His daughter made millions of dollars off textbooks.
And most
for one state. Yeah, for one state. And those textbooks weren't even up to standard.
I'm not opposed to having some of these programs to help people. I'm not opposed to having some medical safety. I'm not opposed to having some educational help for people who don't have the money. I am opposed to people saying if you don't support government doing it, then you're heartless. I am opposed to people who try to push it on everyone that either you fund this or you're heartless. When I'm being taxed through the nose for me and my husband because of his income level with no assistance for all my issues.
Look, this is the most controversial thing to say, but it all started with feminism in the 1960s where they demanded higher pay for school teachers.
I'll say it started the ball rolling. I wouldn't say it was necessarily origin, but it was an opening.
But they created the 2-income household. They overbid on houses near schools. They overpaid on brand prices because they had much higher incomes. The middle class, they created a new middle class based on state income. Okay?
Here's another controversial. We shouldn't have a federal minimum wage. Minimum wage should be set by cost of living in your city and your state. And in fact, I don't even believe it should really be based by state. Your city and your principality that runs you, whatever town you're connected to, should have the minimum wage set to a reflection of the cost of living and inflation to that area. It should not be nationalized. It should not be universal. Minimum wage in New York should not be the same as minimum wage in Iowa.
Yeah. And it hasn't been considered supposed to be a living wage since the 30s, okay?
And I'm not saying it should be the full living wage. I'm saying it should be set as a percentage of it, mind you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Look,
because if you think you're living on a minimum wage, then you need to broaden your career goals. If you think you're going to go career out of flip and fly,
set minimum wage to the cost of living and to the actual expenditure of that area, and watch how fast people start rebelling against extreme high cost of living and taxes in an area. Watch how fast people in smaller rural areas start going, okay, I need a job in an area that pays a higher amount. I'm going to live here. I'm going to work here. They're going to start learning quickly what's happening, and they're going to start correcting because they're going to be pushed into it by both sides.
So California's minimum wage is killed, like the fast food industry.
Look, California, California, they told you what they were doing. They said they were going to set out and destroy the bourgeoisie, which is, if most people know actually their politics, the bourgeoisie is not the rich. It's the middle class.
Yeah.
They said
in and out has pretty much died in California now. Because I think, everything you hear that word.
I don't live like I have a rich life. When I make and sell my stuff, I make good money on them. When my husband's job, he is in the top earner percentage for Iowa. We are in the top 20% for the nation.
Goes right up
we
the
should
door
not live in the condition we're living in, but that is because I have no options, no assistance. All these people talking about levels of autism and need and other shit. Do you guys realize how hard it is, unless you're the worst case scenario in these conditions, to get any assistance, to get any help, to get any accommodations? Yeah. It's a fucking nightmare. And nobody cares.
So I'm not looking at the
side. No, Regal, I believe this is all done deliberately to force an end to private ownership of housing.
Yes.
It is, but that doesn't explain all of the people who don't get that either. And
I'm sorry. Because they're idiots. The majority are idiots, and they hate.
I don't think all of it is idiocy, because a lot of it's also just upbringing and personal experience impacts greatly your experience and your viewpoint. And I think most people, if they genuinely knew how hard it is to get help, would be more understanding, but they don't get it. And there's so much misinformation on both sides about these conditions and about what they do. Stop fucking saying autism is a superpower. Because stop saying we'll never pay taxes or extreme shit like that, and realize that it really is a spectrum. Level 1 through 3, none of us are invalid, and we all have support needs. We all have accommodations we need.
Yeah,
sunflowers. I wouldn't have a problem funding schools if they actually taught something worth a damn.
Yeah,
but they're indoctrination camps.
The education department was just a ploy by Carter because his polls are lagging behind Reagan. He needed something to do, and it was a sellout to the teachers union.
I get called heartless all the time because I don't want to pay for the schools, because I have a problem with government-run schools morally, ethically, and financially. And I'm sitting there going, you got to remember, I'm Native. I grew up in a system where we really don't fucking trust the government because of the shit they were doing to us.
Yeah.
You got to realize I went through one of the private schools for Native kids. Fuck government schooling, okay?
Yeah.
I say that with as much love as I can.
Activists, government school teachers, because they don't work full time but get a full-time wage. So they're going to be Marxist no matter what, because it's basically in their selfish interest to basically screw the rest of you over and put their boot on your neck to keep stealing from you. Because literally, if somebody is getting a full week's wage and doesn't work more than half that time, is a thief.
Yeah.
They're not giving you their labor in return for money. They're taking without giving.
One sec to this, because I do think there is an issue where some teachers are underpaid for how much they work, especially since in a lot of schools they do have to work full-time summer school too, and they rarely get much for that. I do acknowledge one sec. Yeah. I do acknowledge it does exist in places. I'm not saying that it doesn't. I am saying it's extremely overhyped, extremely overclaimed, and most of the cases are not as valid as people claim they are.
Yeah. I don't mind if healthcare was subsidized if it was affordable. But in order to have affordable healthcare, you got to cut the cost of everything in healthcare, from insurance down to doctors' wages, including nurses. And as soon as you say we're cutting nurses, they're the second activist group in the world where they work hard, but they do not work equally for the amount of money they get. So
I would say nurses depends.
It does depend, but it depends where you are. But I'm saying about NHS
work 80 plus hours a week. I know some nurses who absolutely are really skilled, really technical, lots of education, work 80 plus hours a week in really grueling, difficult jobs. And then I know some nurses who work like 20 hours a week at a hospital clinic with a doctor who does family care. That's not equal.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the second class of activists. Okay, the top class is the school teachers. Then you have the nurse activists. And they're the ones who aren't working a full week, yet they're earning a full wage. And they're out there protesting.
Okay, but see, that term is misnomer anyways. Just because a system is not government-run healthcare does not mean it's automatically for profit.
Yeah,
those are not synonymous with each other. And that's one of the issues with the whole debate on both sides. It's not synonymous. Just because I don't want the government involved in my healthcare does not mean I want people to treat me like I'm a profit ticket. That's where the rational middle ground needs to be created.
That's why I say F both sides, because as far as I'm concerned, the far left and the far right are just competitors. They're not.
They are
opposed to
That's
each
the
other.
same thing I say about the whole alpha male manosphere versus the third and fourth wave extremist feminists. Different wings of the same shit bird. Fuck off and take each other.
Yeah, MGTOW, I would say, is in the middle, where you got the manosphere, you got the Andrew Tates, who are basically...
I said the extreme side of the manosphere for a reason. I'm not saying everybody in it.
I'll let MGTOW explain.
Well, hold on, because Andrew Tate and Fresh and Fit, those types of people do not represent MGTOW or Red Pill at all. They're actually the
they're
actually the extreme
hucksters. But more people on the manosphere side need to start calling them out and stop supporting shit they say.
And
we try. We don't get traction.
Some try. There's a lot of people though who
because there's no views in it. There's no traction.
One sec. Let me finish my statement. I know you're passionate on this. I am actually too, because I am MRA. I do believe men are getting screwed over. I've been very vocal on this issue for it.
Yeah.
However, they are pushing people away with how many people that claim to be all this stuff who've been in the manosphere for a long time are silent on the issues that these people are causing. And that's a problem.
I haven't been able to make videos because they took down my channel on my manosphere channel. MGTOW will tell you, YouTube algorithms, if you bash Andrew Tate, you are instantly to the bottom.
I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying overall there is an issue where too many people who were originally the rational side of the manosphere are defending those people. And I'm not saying it's everybody. I'm not saying it's the majority, but I'm saying there's too many.
So we can't on here say that Andrew Tate's a raging waffle and needs to be,
Yes. He don't He don't represent me or anything I talk about. Nor does Pearly Things. Nor does Fresh and Fit. Nor does the Whatever podcast.
Let's talk about Al Azuli, who's been outed as actually being convicted of essaying a 15-year-old, and he's been one of the heroes of the manosphere recently too.
I'm going to be honest.
Remember, there are activists, particularly in YouTube, who find out this stuff long before it goes public, and they promote these people in order to destroy the manosphere.
Yeah. Oh, and I'm not disagreeing with that. Like I said, I'm not bashing the entire manosphere.
And he got given lots of money by government agencies years ago.
I'm not disagreeing with any of that stuff. Andrew Tate, for the one who runs around claiming everything's the Matrix, is the most planted by the government kabuki piece of shit, bigoted sack of garbage trafficking monster out there. But he is absolute a piece of the system. He's a plant to divide both sides. But the problem is it's working, and we have to start as a society calling out the extremes in both the male and female side.
I would love to
off and support each other.
I would love to, but you don't get the views, you don't get the recommendations, and how are we going to reach people when we can't reach people because the algorithm has their boot on our neck?
I have the same battle in dealing with the native issues. I have the same issue.
Society cares about itself. It is so selfish right now. It is toxic.
I have the same issue in battling with the native issues, where if I actually speak out on it, it's hushed. My channel has been so over shadow banned at this point. I can't get anybody to even know when I'm live. But
I can't. I post a video on Facebook. I get two people who see my post. And if I pay $4, I get 10 people see my post.
Well, I've tried to get away from the labels because I think the labels are doing more harm than anything.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get away from all those labels. Right now, our philosophy, the people that calls themselves MGTOW Red Pillars, we're labeled as terrorists currently by the government.
Yes, the French government has made it official.
Our government has made it official.
No, but I was going to say yesterday the French government made they call it the Incel movement now, an official terrorist organization.
So
and this is why I'm so disheartened by everything, because I've just seen all the division grow on both sides. I've just seen all the hatred grow.
Yeah, but the left
all of us who are actually the real people who are both sides, who aren't the extremists who are playing kabuki theater. We're being swept under the rug by all of this psycho shit globally.
Yeah. I try to warn the right that the boot is coming for them, and they don't care because all they see is us being swept under the rug, and they have their little empires,
Except you're next, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
Look at what happened. Look at what happened a few weeks ago when we were streaming. When I was defending men, and the guy comes into chat and starts screaming about how dare you as a woman speak on male issues. For fuck's sake, how can we not grow up and actually realize you can't have an issue, make any headway, make any noise without people from other communities also standing with them?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I remember that guy.
I am so sick of the right being so rugged and brave. Guys, you are being defined and ruled by people who are left wing. Most of these people, like Andrew Tate, he's funded by the Saudi government.
That's the problem. It's people like us on the ground level that don't have sponsorship dollar, which I don't advocate for. But it's people like us that don't have the funding or the sponsors versus the people that represent it that do. They get the louder voice because, again, they're sponsored, right?
Because they instantly get 1,000 views. They instantly get 1,000 followers. They instantly get 1,000 likes. The algorithm is instantly rigged in their favor by the PR firms. I'm not saying it started with Mr. Beast. It started long before that, but you could tell straight away who's a psyop. Mr. Beast, Logan Paul, because no matter how many crimes they commit, Andrew Tate, they're all protected.
They're controlled opposition, right?
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about. You see, the people like us that aren't bought and paid for, they label us as terrorists for saying the same shit that they do, even though they're not really saying what we are. You know, they're speaking in roundabout ways to what we're saying. And that's by design, because they're careful to not say certain things that trips the algorithm.
They are scripted.
Yes. You got it. Exactly.
And I actually feel bad for the people who do want to make a difference, but you're so throttled, you're so controlled, speech is so silenced that you have to use all these. You have to use all these keyword phrases to go around the algorithms. You can't talk about. You have to say essay. You have to say grape. You have to blah blah blah, or the algorithm's gonna hide you, because you can't fucking just say that you were actually sexually assaulted by phrase usually.
Yeah.
And people who are on the borderline spectrum, like myself, who occasionally drop the F-bomb because they can't help themselves, and we get banned. I've been banned in countries simply because I dropped the F-bomb, and I can't help it, you know?
Do you know how many people with Tourette's have been actually openly banned on places with documented evidence they have Tourette's because how dare you say that word on air?
Yes.
Do you know how many channels have blackballed me for having it?
Yeah.
This is where I get so angry when people say I'm faking. It's like, do you realize how much it's fucking hurt me having this?
Yeah, physically. Yeah.
Physically, emotionally, financially, socially.
Look, I try to mute myself sometimes, but if I try not to drop an F-bomb, I'm sure Eagle feels it too. I'm sure everybody who has Tourette's feels this. It's like somebody's choking you.
Well, that thing, part of what I've learned dealing with all these neurologists is that suppressing tics, while it is possible, can actually cause nerve damage, migraines, medical issues. It can cause bowel issues. It can cause blood pressure spikes. It can cause all kinds of things that can actually kill you.
You can actually have an internal seizure because you suppress an F-bomb.
Maybe now we get time to quote that one scene from the King's Speech, the one passage he could do without stuttering at all.
Yeah.
You know the scene?
Yeah.
You want to know how controlled governments are? They got away with killing a king not once but twice.
I'm just thinking the scene where he's with his therapist. And, okay, fuck, get.
Yeah. And what gets me is all these channels who actually get away with saying the F word.
I know people.
A bundle of cigarettes. British cigarettes.
Yeah, that word. Like, okay, I give a pass. I don't think channels should be struck for that if they're British, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, but some channels can say it all day long and get away with it. Other channels get
The Help I Sexted My Boss crew say it a lot, but again, one of the guys on it's extremely gay, so it's like he's making fun of himself when he says it.
Yeah, but I saw a channel the other day, and I was saying I had a gay friend on, and the reason why yesterday's video isn't up is because I had a gay friend on, and he said a word at the end, and we all had a laugh, and we didn't realize, but. Because he says it on his channel all the time and gets away with it. And that's the thing. There's sometimes when exemptions to rules suck. There are other times, like when I say, look, I'm from Scottish descent. So to some extent, I always support native rights. But when you look around the world, how haphazard it is, where you're not allowed to have native rights in the UK, even in Scotland, yet you have people who are native rights advocates who think Africans are natives, and it's like, oh my fucking God.
Okay, when you talk about native rights activism, that varies what it means by fucking country.
Yeah.
When you're an activist for the rights of the natives to an area, and you're in a European country, you're arguing that these cultures shouldn't be erased to be monolithic to the global standard. When you're in the U.S., you're arguing against the reservation system and the systematic abuse of natives here. When you're in Africa, you're arguing against the abuse of African tribes and the erasure of their history.
Which is
when you're
why
in Australia, you're talking about Aboriginal history.
Exactly.
It's
that's
based
why
on where you are.
That's why I left the native movement, because they are not advocating for natives. They're advocating for Africans. They're native. There are people in America who call themselves native Africans. Native Africans, and there's also people in America whose activist native movement is run by Mexicans who want to bring Mexicans into Comanche and Apache and etc. lands. You know, they don't look at it even.
I understand both sides of that argument because, okay, yes, the people in Mexico are the descendants of Spanish conquistadors and pirates. They're descendants of people who wiped out native tribes. They are also the descendants of those natives, and the only remaining part of those tribes. So it is a very complicated issue, but they are not from North America, and they do not fucking belong up here with us.
Say, the Aztecs came up from South America and wiped out the North American, I forget the name, was it Toltecs? And the other ones. And they were stopped by the Comanche.
Aztec, Mayan, and Inca, but you know, Inca's way South America. Mayans in the middle there, and Aztecs are in Mexico.
Yeah, but I'm just saying,
a lot of those tribes.
A lot of these activist movements, whether they be MGTOW or feminism, they've all become skins for Marxism. And now they're becoming skins for Islam. Look at the left in New York. Look at the left in California. Look at the left in some Eastern European countries. They're all skins, and they've gone from being neo-Marxist to neo-Islamic. Look at
New York, of all places.
And I am openly a Native activist, but I'm a Native activist in the U.S. fighting for the rights of my people against the murdered, missing Indigenous women stuff and the anti-human rights shit that's done by the government to reservations. My family comes from the poorest reservation in the nation, the poorest county on the continent, the poorest tribe on the continent. Yeah. Guess what? When people sit there and go, you don't understand, it's like, I'm albino from the fucking poorest tribe. You don't understand. You don't understand what it's like to be in the middle of third world shit and divided between race and told you're not enough to be either. Until you live that, stop talking for natives, you white savior assholes. I'm sorry.
But see, that's what I don't get, and I don't get with this white savior movement is why I left. Also, another reason why I left the activist, because the activists went from being, all about a fundamental human right, which used to be right. A lot of particularly activists, particularly Native activists, used to be anti-immigration because they realized that if you're bringing in 1 million Indians, they're not going to treat the Native Americans any better. They're going to be worse. You look at all the states. You look at Portland and other areas that are run by Indians.
I got news for people. While the Native American population is more conservative generally than the rest of the population, 90+% of us fucking hate the president that was voted for. The reason he won the vote was purely because she wanted to open the border, and that's where the murdered, missing Indigenous women shit's happening. That's where the trafficking is happening. That's where the attack on reservations is coming in. And we don't fucking want it anymore.
And the white saviors are actually protecting the criminal cartels.
Right now, both sides are. The amount of shit that's being done to silence us and build up these groups is really psycho. And the few ones who, they want to shut down the border, but they don't want to criminalize the people doing this. They want to say that it's just natives doing this to each other and shit. It's like, you're not helping either. Both of you. No. Fuck off. That's not what's really happening.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's a little passion in there,
That's what really boils my blood is when the right turn around and go, geez, if we get rid of this, if we solve this problem that we ran on for the last 5 elections, we have nothing to run on the next 5 elections.
Well, the problem is the very problem. The people who are the problem are the ones dictating what's happening anyway.
Yeah.
They're actually a problem.
Look, you look at the lobby groups. If you get rid of the lobby groups, if you get rid of political donations, but the problem is in America, my freedom, baby.
The real problem is the one dictating the border crisis anyway.
Yes, and they have the freedom to do it because the only solution is to get rid of the lobbyists. But you get rid of the lobbyists and you have the ADL and all the other freedom movements.
Neither side's going to get rid of the lobbyists. They make so much fucking money off it, it's unreal.
Exactly, but I'm just saying my freedom movement will come in and the general public who are, I'm not going to say it, but I think this is one of those times where the misinformation is so ingrained they cannot think beyond the misinformation that their freedom is somehow impacted if we stop funding lawyers and politicians.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, how do I put this in the right phrasing and right terminology here? Deep breath a second here so I can say this correctly. It is fucking insane what's going on. And the fact that all these natives would please do something about this border, we're being killed. And then you put somebody in Homeland Security who's been shuffled around the government, who's banned on a lot of Indian reservations because she's openly anti-native, because she's openly said she can defy the tribal laws and they have no right to defy her, who has literally blamed Native women for being kidnapped and murdered before. And she's in security dealing with the border. That's not what any of us fucking wanted. We want her to fuck off and die. I'm sorry.
Well,
I didn't say it that way.
In that case, I would look a little over who is in charge of Native Affairs.
Yeah.
But Homeland Security has a huge impact on Native Affairs.
I know.
Homeland Security's got their finger in every pie, Captain. Every pie.
This isn't about watching news, Phil. This is literally about what I deal with every day. With dealing with my Native family, with dealing with my home state and the interactions I have there, with dealing with these people personally, with the fact that I've been involved in the political system for decades. This isn't watching news. This is what I personally witness every day in real life.
See, and when people like me advocate for a whole bunch of things to change, you get every group coming at you, okay? And yet some of the things I've advocated for, like, to fix healthcare, you have to fix the left and the right of healthcare. You have to take you have to reduce the cost of healthcare, and you have to increase the availability of healthcare training. And you can't do that while schools teach kids about instead of teaching kids maths, English, science, they're teaching kids about climate change. That ain't going to get them jobs.
Or the gender unicorn, or anything like that.
Or the gender unicorn, yeah.
Yes, your doctor may have backed up. You may really be a girl. So my Willie doesn't mean no. It's like,
but it's not even that.
Again,
in some schools, kids will tell you that they spend half the day watching television.
Again, what do people expect when your schools have become politicized and funded by the government? Because that's what happened.
But run by unions.
And when they become politicized and state sponsored and federal sponsored, whatever, you're going to get politics. You're going to get political activism in one way, shape. Look, it started with religion in schools, right?
Yeah.
Now you can't stand up and salute the flag anymore. You can't pray to God anymore. Now it's every other religion's okay but yours.
Every religion is banned except Islam.
I think that's what they were counting on that when they created the Department of Education.
Actually, no, not every religion. I have seen plenty of schools have clubs for every religion under the sun, from New Age to Satanist and Islamic and everything else. But the moment a Christian even does the praying at the flag before class, they're banned from school. If they bring their Bible to class, they're banned from school.
This is the problem in America. But my freedom.
That freedom has to apply equally, or it means fucking shit.
It's always done in the
Shouldn't we
name
be
of freedom,
careful
in
of
the
what we're
name of
talking
protecting
about
the
because
kids.
of YouTube?
Yeah. Yes, Kevin, you should
Keep us relatively careful, but we probably have slipped a few things we shouldn't have. But This is the things. We may be ranting, we may be passionate, we may be heated, but we're actually hearing each other here. We're actually seriously caring. And that's the difference between this and a lot of these channels when they get into this.
We're losing in America until Carter kissed the ring.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it didn't happen as far back as Wilson, but the corruption took a new turn when Carter gave in to the globalist Islamic, when he kissed the Saudi ring.
The corruption was always there, I imagine.
Oh,
it is. I'm saying it didn't start with Carter. I'm just saying it took a new turn with Carter.
It may have gotten bad with him, but it was probably there way, way before.
It wasn't as bad before. I can tell you, I was there. Okay? It wasn't.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Even okay, Wilson and Roosevelt put America on the path of war and all that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But Carter cemented this new age of endless wars, and I know it's controversial, but America isn't only doing the bidding of Israel; it's doing the bidding of the Saudis, it's doing the bidding of Europe, it's doing the bidding of Britain, it's doing the bidding of everybody but America. Because she's juggling your global influence, or whatever you want to call it, hegemony, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, well, it was one guy who has family in Iran and has been keeping posted in contact. Point out this one thing: there's one general who was head of the Iranian secret police decided to spare Khomeini's life and exile him to Europe. And how did Khomeini repay him when he came back? He had him executed. So this is what happens. You know, any act of kindness or mercy to one of these mullahs is not repaid in kind.
No.
I'm informed. I'm informed to get some massive trouble. Hey, lesson learned. Let Israel finish the damn job.
Sorry. Yes.
Please stop now.
Yeah.
Please stop now.
Bob, I've said this to people over and over again, right? The whole concept of the enemy of my enemy is a ruse. Okay. Yeah. The person who advocated for Sun Tzu, he failed. Okay. You look at history. Sun Tzu actually failed. He failed to conquer China. He was defeated by the Wa.
He had some good points and some bad points. He was not this great hero who had all these ideas about war. He had some good ideas and some horrible ideas, and they didn't work.
But because but the Chinese communists adopted some of his ideas, and it worked for them, so Sun Tzu suddenly became the big thing again.
Well, he was almost said, no plan of attack survives contact with the enemy. So
yeah. But again, had America not harmed the communists so well...
There's also some debate as to actually, if he actually wrote all the sections of his Art of War or whatever.
There's a lot of debate if a lot of these people actually wrote everything they were accredited for in history. There's a lot of reason for a lot of that debate, too. But I think we're all starting to get a little over-passionate at this point and not censoring ourselves as well on certain topics.
But
so let's go back a little bit to the prayers and support for the people that are suffering in Texas.
Yes.
For remember to have compassion for all the people who are still trying to get over and recover from what they went through in the fires in California. For compassion to people fighting through disasters and wars all over the world. And let's leave a little element of peace and love to everybody as the end of this long, heated discussion. How's that sound?
Okay.
And let's find something fun now.
You know, it's bad when I even say be careful.
Hey, I can talk about anything. I don't care.
Hey, I enjoyed the conversation, but I realize at this point that it's starting to make me tick more, and I'm hitting that point, and we're starting to not censor ourselves as well to get in trouble on the stream. So I think we need to play a little bit and have a little more fun now.
Yeah. Before we see a blank screen with the CEO.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, before the screen goes black and we see the face of the YouTube
the man behind the curtain.
YouTube with his arms crossed.
The people behind the curtain,
yeah.
I want to thank you guys for actually having a discussion. Even if we did get heated and loud and crazy, we actually were hearing each other.
Because if we come to the middle, we realize that a lot of us are dealing with the same problems from a different angle. You can take away group X and put in group Y, and you'll suddenly realize that it's the same people with the boot on your neck, and meanwhile, their paymasters like Jeff Bezos roam around the world spending more per day than we earn in our lifetimes.
Sure. Yeah.
But I'm not against the free market. But Jeff Bezos isn't the free market.
No, there's a big difference between capitalism and crony capitalism. So let's wind this down and have a little bit of fun time now, okay?
Does Bezos
Anime,
have
what do you think we should do?
I'm setting up the card game now.
No matter what side it's on.
Does Bezos have children? Do we know?
Yes. He keeps them secret. He has at least 3 children we know of, but he has more.
And with that new wife, I'm sure they'll be trying. At least going through the
I
actions.
don't know. She's 56, isn't she? Or is that...
I think that's him. Well, he's my age.
Because I read somewhere that they didn't have plans and she said she was too old anyway. So I don't know.
Yeah, I have no clue.
Yeah, we'll see about that. Yeah.
She could have just been saying that.
No kidding. Us big town.
Why does he keep his children secret?
With all the crap
Bezos is his
families
real
get,
name.
Who knows?
Bezos isn't his real name. He took the name of his mum.
Yes, she's
When he
55.
was little, his mother ran off with a Cuban, and eventually he got custody with her, and he changed his name. And since then, he's used it. But apparently, Mackenzie has the children under her name.
Okay, yes, his wife is 55, and let's get that game up and going. And I'm going to put my beating aside for a few minutes. I got a section done at least on a couple of these.
I believe Adrienne Barbeau was about that age when she had twins.
Yeah, but it's
I'm not saying
it was unusual, but it happened.
Rare after 50.
Yeah.
And that, of course, largely depends on when you went into menopause, because menopause it can happen at any age. They've had teenagers go into menopause.
Yeah.
But menopause, the majority of women go into menopause between 35 and 50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I realize that. I'm
not
saying that as a 41-year-old woman who's see that's probably going to happen soon.
As young
Yeah,
as
I'm not-
35?
I'm not arguing with you. I'm saying I yield to the expert.
I know quite a few women who went through menopause in their 30s. I actually know a couple who went through it in their 20s. And there is a medical condition. There is a medical condition that can make girls go through it when they hit puberty, basically. They go right into periods and then a few months later, menopause. It's rare, but it does happen.
Yeah.
Can they do hormone treatments or anything to help?
They
If
usually
you're in menopause,
exacerbate
you're
it.
in menopause.
Yes,
You're going to
it's
need
low.
hormone therapy probably, but it's going to happen once it starts.
No,
Yeah,
I mean,
what-
Turn it off.
like help prevent or slow it down.
We can
They
go on
don't
a
know
can
until they
understand-
hit it. This is a medical condition that activates at puberty. So if you have it, by the time your body starts to show any signs something's wrong, you're already starting.
Yeah.
Can they slow or stop it?
No.
There are so many conditions in the world that medical science just go, there's no profit in it. And that's the problem.
There's also so many medical conditions in the world that just don't get the attention because it's well less than 1% of us that are affected by them. And so it
Like
just...
I said, there's no profit in it.
There's nothing I can do about being allergic to my tears, even though it's an autoimmune condition, except for take allergy drops to my eyes if I have a bad reaction. Because there's no treatment for it, because they're not researching treatment for it, because it's 1 in so many million that have that allergy.
Yeah. I saw an interview with, I know it's political, but I saw an interview with Robert Kennedy, and he was saying it used to be like 1 in a million, but he thinks it's autoimmune in the last 50 years has increased.
Well,
And-
autoimmunes have always been a lot more than they thought, but they didn't know what a
Yeah.
lot of them were, and people just died young from them.
Yeah. But what he's saying
There
is
is an
more
increase,
people-
but it's also over dramatized because part of that's just
Yeah.
we actually know how to find them now.
Yeah, he's saying testing is identifying more, but because they're all unique, the only answer he has now is prevention. Okay, right now, when he was asked about what are we doing about autoimmune disease, he says the only thing we can do right now is prevention. And people are saying he's heartless, but come on,
I really
Not
don't
a
want to get into him for a lot of
Yeah.
reasons. I really don't want to get into him. Let's play the game, please.
Okay,
Anybody who can.
Okay, that's a new one.
I'm going to say goodbye and get back to work because I need to.
Yes, thank you.
Work.
Have a good
Take
night.
care,
It was
everybody.
nice to talk.
Nice to see you, Gummy.
So we're going for
Big Al.
brevity today, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, see ya.
All right.
What was that, Bob?
So we're going for brevity today, I see, huh?
Hey, take care,
Anime,
David.
join the game.
the
We need
screen
to
up.
play for a little bit.
I guess
I'll see if my connection holds.
We may not be playing long. We'll probably end the game after a little bit. We just want to play a few rounds to have a little fun.
I'm joining.
Yeah, you're already in there.
Yeah.
Yep, I see it. Okay, I might be a little guilty with that name.
Yeah, you wish.
You got two going for serious names and two going, let's be inappropriate.
I go for my normal name.
Yep, so did Bob, but me and
Make sure
Anime, no.
make sure we know who we're talking about here.
All right, let's start the stream.
Who the hell is that? Okay.
Wow, penis juice.
Okay, who we got?
Oh, that tick about broke Lydian the other night. He asked me, is there anything else you need from Steve? And I started ticking that. And he about fell out of his seat. It's like, well, I mean, yeah, I mean, he's my husband, right?
I think we might want to check the settings. I think I was off on something.
Which setting? Because I see my write-ins at least.
Well, the number of cards.
Don't worry about it.
All right, we'll go with it.
If we have a lot of write-ins, we have a lot of write-ins.
Well, it also mean I might have messed up in the total when the cutoff when I find it over with it.
We can always just end the game if it goes too long.
Okay.
I already have my stuff up.
All right, let's see what happens.
It could be funner this way.
More fun. I don't care if they've added it to the dictionary. It's still a bullshit word. Sorry.
I see. I talk how I talk.
I hate funner with a passion. I hate it. It's such one of the worst bastardized slang words on the planet, I swear.
But you know I talk how I talk, right?
I know, but that's the grammar in me. Wow. You eat penis.
There we go. That's what I was missing. It's been too damn long.
I. Wow. Bend over. I still don't know if I'm going to have to go back and help Mom for a while again. There's medical shit happening that I'm not going into on air, but
yeah,
I might have to go back and help her for a few more months.
Waiting on Anime.
That's unfortunate.
Anime, hurry your ass up. Don't make me play a
this
game
is
of
your
Spot
stream.
the Vibrator.
Okay, that's what's throwing me off.
She would do it too.
Anyway.
I don't know. Do you think I've got vibrators in this room?
More than likely.
Sandra Jamori, right by your left leg there. Oh, yeah.
1 sec. I'll read those in just a second. I'm just trying to get my medicine.
Are you sure that's not a vibrator?
Yeah, vibrators aren't used internally like that.
Are you sure about that?
Kermit, what kind of vibrator are you talking about? I mean,
you're overplaying a lame joke, okay? Yeah.
I apologize to everyone.
All right.
But
knowing you probably have a few in every room.
All right.
Anyway, moving on.
The Kool-Aid Man dancing atop the Jonestown corpses was the life of the party.
Oh, yeah!
I'm not saying that word, but it was the life of the party. Wow. You guys went straight for the dank for me today. I love you. Mwah. Rigging a pinball machine so that whenever whenever it tilts, the player gets punched right in the nuts. It's the life of the
Ooh.
party. Actually, I really like all three of these. I love you guys. Mwah.
I think you wrote one of them.
I
Came
have
out
to give this
swinging.
one the win, though, because, yeah.
We came out swinging.
Right in the nuts. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man, I had the perfect one for this. I just finished a book series and now I'm on another.
Bitch. Fuck off.
I know I am.
What's awkward is when I tick that at my mother all the time. No, actually, what was more awkward when I did the stupid "you eat penis" tick at her. And she looked at me and said, "I haven't had one of those around the house in 3 years." Like, damn it, Mom! What the hell?
I see where you don't get your filter from.
Vicious and cold. Yeah.
I see where you don't get your filter from.
You think?
Oh yeah, when her mom was doing the live, it's like, oh yep, it's not there's neurological. She inherited it.
Oh, I have news. My nephew is almost sitting up and he's in daycare.
Yippee!
Okay, that's it.
Right.
Penis juice.
You're
Up
grounded.
your anus. Have a good night, Bullet.
You're grounded.
Kermit Reed.
Your rights to.
Sorry.
Kermit, enunciate slightly. You're coming out really muffled. Or do you want us to read it for you?
Doritos and a fruit roll up.
Okay. Slightly louder on it.
Is this better?
Better, yeah.
I don't want to be too loud and.
I get that. Just try to talk a little softer when you're hanging out and a little louder when you're reading, okay?
All right.
Thank you.
You're grounded for. You lost your rights to Doritos and fruit roll-ups for 3 weeks. You're grounded. You lost your rights to. Hang on. Being torn to shreds by a pissed off chimpanzee for 3 weeks. You're grounded.
I'm good with that.
You just lost your rights to the underground world of Nugget blank.
Nugget porn, yeah.
For 3 weeks. Is that poo stuff?
The Somali thing is throwing me.
No, it's nugget poop stuff.
I don't know.
I'm not sure. Well,
I don't want to look. I don't want that on my computer, on my iPad.
Don't Google it, okay? Just simply. Let's just assume it's weird. Okay.
I don't.
What I do is I go to Urban Dictionary's site and then I search shit like that.
Okay.
So it doesn't put it in my actual browser information.
Like if it was South Africa, I figured different ways to smuggle out nuggets of gold, gold nuggets. Somali when they're that kind of throw.
Oh God, it's worse. It's about
dear.
making sexual videos of people who have no arms or legs.
Ew.
Of course there is.
Moving on.
My God.
Okay.
Moving on.
Dig deep, pick a winner. Yeah.
Pick a winner. Let's move on.
Yes. There you go.
You didn't even know what it was when you picked the cards.
Good thing you have that loophole. Good thing you have.
Hey, wild man.
Okay, this is my.
Oh, Anime Master, I want to. Yes, please send photos. We want to see them all. See them all.
If I wasn't playing this, I'd go
Read
back
anime.
I'd go back to reading my newest book series, another survival thriller.
Let anime read now.
Alrighty. This is madness. No, this is the motherfucking Nancy anime table. Okay, someone's really playing to the group
Okay.
here.
Hold on, I need to get the
This
thing.
is blasphemy. This is madness. No, this is triple penetration.
Oh,
Not bad.
Dear. This is blasphemy. This is madness. No, this is Sparta. You guy completes it. Wow, a lot of people are playing and love the movie 300 reference.
Let's be honest, all of those play to you to different levels.
Yes.
The three.
But unfortunately for Fatal, who we love dearly.
You know what was funnier? Meet the Spartans.
Oh, come on. My card was perfect, and I didn't know you were a czar when I wrote it.
Woot woot. I win.
Triple penetration. Poor Fatal. I mean,
that takes effort, you know. Okay. I may not be much to look at, but I fuck like blank. All right.
Thank you for the point. Woot woot.
Oh. All right, I may not look like much, but I fuck like David Bowie flying in on a tiger made of lightning. I'll say right now, that's the lines on. As a star man. Wait, okay. I look like a gay sorcerer turns everyone gay.
well, you know he does it in the back. I mean,
I fuck like Morgan Freeman's voice.
I like that answer, actually.
That's when he knew.
I'm going to say, honestly, I think answer 1 and 3 are the best.
Yeah.
And only one of them's mine. 2 is kind of almost.
Yeah, just sort of there.
Fatal here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's when he knew he fucked up. Okay. All right.
1 and 3, I can really see.
Oh man.
Oh God, why do I have to have this one?
What is the card czar's biggest turn on?
This.
Oh, I got 2 of them. I got a couple of them here. That'll be.
I found mine. I knew this would be good to wait for. But I enjoyed my last series until I didn't. They did 3 books with 1 character and 2 books with a different character.
Anime night. What's my biggest turn on? He's muted again. What's the card czar's biggest turn on? Lacy underwear. Boring. I mean, what's the card czar's biggest turn on? I mean, yes and no.
Depending on whose it is.
Well, so there's other things that need to be added to that, or it's not as entertaining. Anyway, I might be a little adventurous. Anyway, what's the card czar's biggest turn on? Yeah. Honestly, these answers aren't the most impressive this time.
Aww.
Of the 2 options I figured that was the most direct. Cap lock. I left.
Let's go, guys.
Unfortunately, I can't. Alright, now I'm going on a cleanse this week. Nothing but kale juice and anchovy smoothies.
Blech.
I'm going on a cleanse this week. Nothing but kale juice and the blood of 40-year-old virgins.
That's all right, and you're saving these, right, Bob?
Yeah.
I'm going on a cleanse this week. Nothing but kale juice and ball cancer.
I think if you have that, it cleanses your least of worries. Anyway, Thank you.
I didn't even know that was yours, but
Well, that's kind of the point. That's why it's kind of anonymous. And his name is
Captain Asian Tech. Wow.
I have no idea if I spelled this name right.
Well, he just admitted you did it right in. So.
Might as well use it right in once.
Okay.
Go anime.
Alrighty. And his name is Vagina Farts.
What a
His name-
sleeping disaster.
And his name is Cornholio.
I'll fix
And
that.
his name is Deep Throat, aka Fatal System.
Okay, let me.
I meant to write. I meant to write Cornholio.
Yeah, it's just slightly.
Don't do that. Don't. Don't hint that you're the one who made the card. Don't ever hint that.
Yeah, and that is.
Because it ruins the.
Sorry, everybody.
No, it's
That is-
okay. It's
just
okay.
wanted
It
to-
just ruins because it.
I saw
And I
that-
know you mean. I know you mean well. I know you do. But it ruins the
Surprise.
surprise.
I try not to, and I normally don't. Or I try not to.
It's okay. Let's move on. Pick your winner there.
Hey, Christopher Tees, what's up?
Alright.
Alrighty, there we go.
Need TP for the bunker.
Shit. Come on, goddammit.
We know which one made you laugh the hardest.
Great.
Are you fucking me?
It's not.
Are you fucking me?
Okay, there. Okay, let's try this again. There we go. Jeez.
Yeah,
I
Christ.
expected to win with that one. Deepest Throatus.
All right.
I had to do that like the old Wile E. Coyote sub names.
Okay.
Oh,
You know, there's
I-
something deeply psychologically wrong with me.
Okay.
There is
Moving on.
definitely something very deeply psychologically wrong with me.
Like something technology is made easier, but also less fun.
Wow.
Well, I really got nothing to work with.
There.
Penis.
All right. Get over here.
Sorry, I had to do a write-in.
Shh, don't say that.
Stop confessing to it.
Sorry.
Never confess. All right, Bob, read.
All right. Validation from strangers is something technology made easier, but also less fun.
I don't know. I almost think humiliation kinks have been made a lot easier by technology, but less fun. Because how many people get off on telling the internet, roast me, judge me, say horrible shit to me? Don't bully me, I'll come. I mean,
watching a baby commit mass murder is something technology's made easier, but also less fun. Mandatory abortions for all. God.
I wrote one of those cards.
Yeah. Actually, he's going to copy that down.
I apologize for.
You just got to learn to sometimes try to keep things in that inner voice instead of outer voice. And that's coming from somebody whose filter in her brain is fried with brain damage.
So she speaks from experience.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Give me more penis.
Honestly, some days I'm better than others at that.
Eat a dick, eat a dick, eat a dick, dick, dick.
Okay.
Sometimes the best option is to just ignore what I tick.
Mm-hmm.
I have better days than others with telling you what I have for this.
I was hoping to save this one, but no one that works.
Just thinking back to the old days of the different channels I hung out on. If Odin only knew what I was muting my mic for, or half the time I was on his air. That poor Catholic school teacher. I mean,
okay.
I don't know why, but I'm amused by your ticks.
Whenever you're ready there.
I think I drink.
All right.
I'm not reading this one. You read it. This is dumb.
Okay. When I pooped, what came out of my butt? My collection of high-tech sex toys.
I am not fatal. I'm sorry.
Not in the butt stuff.
Anyway, next.
When I pooped, what came out of my butt? Flying sex snakes.
Again, I'm not fatal.
And what came out of my butt? Lord Farquaad.
Okay, that's the most irreverent, crazy answer. Congratulations.
Is that a short joke?
By the way, Animate. One of the tests they did try to figure out the muscle and spinal issues I'm having and what's wrong with me, they did, was to lay me out on the table to get a proper height without my nerve and bone damage causing me to slouch. When they laid me out and tested me, I came out at almost 5'10".
What are you in your slouching?
How you doing, Shorty? My normal stance is between 5'7" and 8.
You're really
and it's not slouching. It's because I have a hole in my back from being trampled that pulls me downward when I'm upright.
Now you're making me wonder how tall I really am when you mention that. Now you're making me...
Well, my issue with that is because I have the spinal damage. They needed to figure out how much it was pulling me downward when I stand.
All right.
So apparently over 2 inches.
Yeah.
I got 99 problems, but...
Don't say that! Don't say that!
Stopping you right there.
Sorry, I wasn't trying to be rude. I just...
If we were on Rumble completely, we could go all out. Like, we could go all out.
I usually hesitate before I speak.
Good, because it gave us time to make sure you knew. Don't. Just don't. Next one.
I got 99 problems, but the sexual potential of 3 men and the railroad spike ain't one. I got 99 problems, but Getting a Jolly Rancher stuck to the back of your throat forever ain't one.
No, that would be a problem. Yuck. Ow. Yay! I'm a very fucked
You're
up person.
trying to get me into trouble, Captain, right?
Hmm?
Was that
I
you?
play
Was
the
that
cards I have that, seem to work. All right.
Was that last one you or anime?
Let's move on. For his new experimental record, the Grateful Dead's Bob Weir is using the sounds of blank to make a new kind of music. Ooh.
How have you been, Eagle?
Let's get sick. Okay, yeah.
Crazy.
Okay.
Read anime.
Quit getting distracted. It's your stream. Is he muted?
Is it bad that one of the ways I like to type things when I'm trolling people is na 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 hey 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 fuck off?
I think I got a karaoke track to that.
Anime.
Sorry. Okay.
Wow.
For his new experimental record, the Grateful Dead's Bob Weir is using the sound of a bulldozer pushing corpses to make a new kind of music.
It's Bob Weir.
Oh, sorry. Thank you.
Yeah.
It is the sounds of a bulldozer pushing corpses to make a new kind of music. Okay. Whispering all sexy to make new kind of music.
That's not new. They've been doing that in music for decades.
Well, that doesn't really work with Bob Weir either. I think.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I mean, 1 and 3 are in the same place.
Yeah. Oh, Christ. And 1 and 3 are tied, and it's like...
Maybe going to hell in a bucket, baby. But at least I'm enjoying the ride.
There you go, Captain Bob.
All right. Oh. I'm surprised with no one. Boogie finally popped the question. She said yes. So about damn time. I'm Ted Cruz, and I'm proud to endorse blank. Okay.
No. There's so many good ones. It's hard to pick.
I had one that'd be really good. I'm Ted Cruz. I'm proud to endorse spanking a bonded slave with a diaper with a wire hanger and getting them to say abort me, daddy.
I endorse that one.
I'm proud to endorse calculating mannerisms so as not to suggest homosexuality. I'm proud to endorse the carnival rides in the children's section of
Hey, that's a card we wrote together, Bob.
Yeah.
I like all 3 on this one.
I guess you got a beef with Ted Cruz.
Long story. I actually known him, and
I know
he's not doing what he used to stand by.
Mm-hmm.
Then again, what politician is?
No.
It's less a beef with him and more I think he lost his soul in the machine.
Then again,
and that comes from somebody who can show pictures of me and him hugging.
Ooh.
I'll tell you, him and the Judiciary Committee is a sight to behold, though.
I'm not saying I don't support some things he does still, but there's a lot of things he used to stand for. He completely lost.
What? To be fair, what politician doesn't lose their soul to the machine at some point?
Michelle Bachmann. That's why she refused to run for a third office.
There are very few, is my point.
Yes.
The difference is, when did they sell their soul? You know, some of them go in with that way.
Some of them go in and go, I really don't believe we should be in politics long, and they get the hell out and they don't lose it. Some of them go in with ideals high as hell, and it slowly eats their soul over a long term because they stay in offices for long periods. Some of them go in corrupt as hell and power hungry, and that's why they got into it.
And some of them, you can tell that they're power hungry.
Okay, why do I have this card do?
Oh.
Why am I getting all of these kinds of cards? You won't believe what's in my pussy. It's blank. I've had cards about being turned on, things in my anus, things in my pussy, things in my... What the hell is with this game? Why is it doing this to me?
We need more people in the game to spread this damage out.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm having fun.
One sec. I'm so sorry I'm perpetrated. I'm 41. I lost my dad a few years ago, and I'm scared daily with the shit my mom goes through medically. So I really feel you. I am so sorry.
Yeah.
Really big hugs, please.
Sending you hugs, Forge.
Yeah.
I'm having fun in my own way.
Okay.
I mean, Kermit. You won't believe what's in my pussy. It's... What the fuck?
Okay.
I mean, okay, if you're saying that my pussy's worth $2 million, I'll take that. Although it's probably cost men more than that over the years. Anyway,
I have to fix that.
You won't believe what's in my pussy. It's no, God no, fuck that asshole. Whoever got that, I wouldn't even give you a like. I'm sorry. Fuck him. You won't believe what's in my pussy. It's a box. That could be taken as sex toys.
Okay, what was the one?
What do you have Sean B? Sean Penn.
How long have we got? Yeah.
First of all, no way on earth would I ever fuck Madonna's sloppy seconds. That alone. Anyway, continue. Next round.
I imagine you'd enjoy World Police, Team America, because they go after him with a chainsaw.
Team America was fun until they did the naughty scene. That was
did that specifically to take on the ratings board to see if they'd actually allow it. At one point, it was where they just going with like a couple of Barbie dolls and going. All right.
Did you see what I said in the private chat, Eagle?
No, I'm kind of busy. Good. At least you're getting under 7, but not far enough. Keep going.
What?
Hey,
I wanted to tell you in case one of us left.
Hold on.
One of us left or I fell asleep. Whichever came first.
Anime.
It's always possible that I fall asleep.
Okay, links in private.
Oh,
I'm going to take the camera off, meaning he's up away from the from the computer and probably getting a bite to eat.
Hi, Steph, by the way.
Hey.
As usual, she's on a major, delay. And the mic man up.
But I thought I'd tell what was going on before I fell asleep or one of us left.
All right.
Both are possible.
There, he's back. Pick a card. There we go.
Are they not possible, Rob?
Oh dear. He found his stash of
Garnet
Halloween
Reed.
candy.
Ooh, candy. I need chocolate.
It's my turn.
Yep.
Don't forget, beginning this week, Casual Friday will officially become Pixelated Something Friday.
Actually, screw the chocolate. I need some of my ice cream because my throat and stomach hurt.
Don't forget beginning this week, Casual Friday will officially become Clothing Optional Friday. I'd like to work and or live there.
Not really. It sounds like a good edge, and they realize that a lot of people are better off with the clothes on.
Fair point.
I like one better.
Don't forget, beginning this week, Casual Friday will officially become Sweet Salty Taste Friday.
Mine already is. Anyway.
Oh.
I don't know what your second word was.
Who wants to explain bukkake here?
Oh, please, anime do it.
That one song, the kind of.
Oh no, master! Oh no, master! Please don't beat me! I swear I didn't mean to do it. Oh no! I didn't mean to suck Fredo's cock and make him feel happy. I didn't mean to, master. Oh.
Mine will be interesting. Or will it?
Yeah. Well, you've come onto the show at the right time, Alchemy.
We're being totally wild.
I would say totally.
Twice I've had to throw my cards away because every single card sucked and was almost unusable. I'm getting the worst cards, I swear.
Okay.
Oh no, master! Oh no, master! Please don't attempt to trim the pubes with a power drill.
Yeah, that would hurt.
Oh no, master! Please don't shout "Allah Akbar" in a crowded soccer stadium.
Don't say that phrase.
Oops.
Too late. Moving on.
Sorry, if I said it quick enough, it would.
Oh no,
Anyway,
master!
continue.
Oh no! Please don't. Them homeless.
I can't do it.
The butterfly.
It does not make sense. I can't read it.
Yeah,
doesn't make sense.
The butterfly McQueen thing runs all over together.
Oh no, master! Please don't strip that. Don't.
Sorry.
Oh no,
You gotta make
master!
a line.
Please don't strip me down and naked in the garden and coming over the flowers to fertilize them. Oh no!
Let's see. I would say one,
One and two.
I would say 1 and 2. Also, but 4 is actually pretty funny too.
Four's good too.
Is
3 is just weird.
I don't know what you're doing to
probably a
that poor
card game.
power drill, but Jesus Christ.
I liked mine better.
Well, and the upper thing is whatever. Whatever. Yeah. Okay, yes, I know. Surgeons are baffled after a woman arrived in the ER with blank in her vagina.
Huh. I don't know how many of mine work, but I I find them funny at the time.
This one's a little more esoteric and also partly a card dump. Yeah.
They seem perfect at the time, but you know.
That works.
All right. Surgeons are baffled after a woman arrived in the ER with 2 dogs, 3 cats, and a 9 nickel bags of heroin in her vagina. That took some work. Okay. Hold on. Let me copy that down. Add it to the list.
Is there very few that you don't add to the list?
If they're write-ins, they get added.
And then we go through it and clean them
Might
up and
have to tweak them a
pick
bit
later.
All right. Next.
Which we need to work on soon.
We're in the ER with a family of clowns in her vagina.
That's an interesting clown car. I mean, although I still think one is twisted as hell.
Yeah. All right. Baffled after a woman arrived in the ER with a Nerf football drenched in cum in her vagina.
Well, I mean, if she's shoved up her vagina, it's going to be drenched in something like that.
Yeah. All right. And the sea of troubles in her vagina.
Poor Lydian. Poor Lydian. Look in the chat.
What do we got?
Alchemy.
A Chinese.
Poor Lydian. Why is he shoved up some woman's vagina? Come on.
Hey, Fury Sam. What's up, man? Anyway, back to Alchemy's comment. Yes, indeed.
Poor Lydian. Poor Lydian.
I have not seen Jekyll and Hyde together again in 40 years. Okay.
Whatever happened to them? Did they die or whatever?
No, the movie Jekyll and Hyde together again. Okay.
Nobody said I'm not a weird, twisted, fucked up woman.
Although there are many interesting sea creatures at the Georgia Aquarium, the exhibit on blank is getting all the attention these days. Okay. Oops. Take this opportunity to get myself a refreshment. All right, what do you want?
Well, I don't have any tea left, so.
Well, they're getting cold right now. They're in the fridge.
Oh,
no, they're the second 6 pack. I just not put them in.
Give me a sunkiss now.
How are your animals, Eagle?
Tired, like me.
All right.
Are they still being adorable? Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean they're also not being evil little shits. Okay. All right. Although there are many interesting sea creatures at Georgia Aquarium, the exhibit on Megalodon is getting all the attention. Yeah, a shark the size of a school bus would get that. All right, next. The exhibit on a large dick and a bottlenose dolphin is. Fix the typo there. on of or of a bottlenose dolphin.
We'll have to figure that out when we correct it.
All right, and also need to fix the spelling of the word bottlenose. Oh, good. I'm gonna make it of. Flows a little bit more multi-use there. And let's see, exhibit on dolphins and their obsession with fish. Okay. I think it needs a little tweaking, but it's still something.
It's true.
Yeah.
In fact, they will get euphoric grins while they grab a fish and force it to eat their penis.
Well, that's a fun expression there, really.
But also,
The exhibit
No, it's actually true.
they will also
They
mess
do
with
an
the
old people
pufferfish
smell.
get high. They will also mess with the pufferfish to get high.
Okay, 2 and 3 are,
Played to the bit of it being an aquarium.
yeah. That's I keep thinking of that Robin when they did that PBS series Into the Wild and Robin Williams doing a thing on dolphins and stuff that didn't make air. But they had a little experience that almost turned into an aquatic version of Deliverance.
You can read this one for me.
All right. Donald Trump dispersed a crowd with tear gas so he could take photos with blank.
Yes, just. Anyone who wants to make cracks about the pudgy girl eating ice cream. This is like nothing in it. This is health stuff.
Mm-hmm. Is that the
This is
butterfly?
less fat and less sugar than straight milk does.
I believe I've teased you about ice cream at least once.
Is that the butter pecan one? I know the color of the
Snickerdoodle.
Haven't seen that one.
Haven't I probably teased you about ice cream at least once, Eagle?
I have no idea.
They have several of them over Walmart, but not that one. Where's my cursor?
At one point or other, that is.
I have no idea.
Anyway. Okay.
Read there.
Hold on. All right. Donald Trump dispersed a crowd with tear gas who can take photos with a smart, educated, well-rounded prostitute.
Is that like trying to find that mythical unicorn?
Something like that.
Sorry.
I hope they don't screw it up either. I'll watch it later, Rexus.
So we can take photos with an entrenched class system. Okay.
Doesn't work. Trying too hard. Anyway, next.
The Al Smith one. Okay. Donald Trump dispersed a crowd with tear gas. We can take photos with a mouthful of Catherine Martell's toes.
Ew.
Who's Catherine Martell?
I have no idea, but ew.
I don't know who the hell that is.
I'm curious now. Give me half a second.
It says it's a major germaphobe. They wouldn't go near that.
Oh. One of the characters in Twin Peaks.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
That makes sense. It's in TJ's deck. He's obsessed with Twin Peaks.
Okay.
Anyways.
Tear photo. Then I'm going to take photos with.
Sorry. Take a half a second.
Okay. A crying Rosie O'Donnell holding "I'm a loser" sign. Oh, that I can see him doing. Okay.
It's a little bit try hard. It's not necessarily phrased the best, but still, I hate her, so I'll give it to that.
Yeah. And can certainly come up later. Now let's put the quotes on that. Whoops. How are we doing? Hold on, get back here.
I'm sorry about my last one. Or last two, by the way.
Hold on. Hold on.
I'm going to go to hell for this answer.
I thought they worked as well with what I had. all the answers I had worked well with what I thought.
All right, where are we at here? Moving on.
Lord, I apologize for this.
Money can't buy me love, but it can buy me. There we go.
Anime, you can lecture me on this answer later.
You're gonna lecture me on mine, and I think you're gonna lecture me on mine. So,
all right.
keep in mind it's a joke. It's a joke, but it's you'll see what I mean.
They're just words. They're jokes, people.
Mm-hmm. Come on, Steffi. Hold on, I've got a good one here.
Oh, jeez.
You know, I've missed you guys so much. I even missed the sound of her yelling like an orangutan. I love you, Steph.
Is there a limit to how many people can play this?
I have no idea. Read, Kermit.
Oh, everyone's ready? Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Money can't buy me love, but it can buy me. Oh, I can't say any of that.
A sex dungeon filled with missing children. Yeah.
I don't think I can say. Anyone could say that.
I just did.
Most of those words don't set off the algorithm.
Yeah.
It's fucked up, but it won't probably get you in trouble.
I'm still being careful.
I'm not. Algorithm
I
doesn't
get
know context. Okay, it just goes on syllables.
Money can't buy me love, but it can buy me. Sexy woman to date at a
We found Anime's card.
night.
I
I still think card 1 is worse.
Yep.
you can lecture me later, Eagle. You can lecture me later.
Oh, why?
Prostitution pays bills. What do I care? I mean,
Oh no.
Pretty easy work. You're off your feet most of the time. Yeah.
Are you done now?
Moving on.
yeah, go on.
Next.
Money can't buy me love, but it can buy me a full latex bodysuit with gas mask, but no crotch.
Oh. Ouch. That sucks.
BDSM people.
They get into weird shit and have weird shit.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Money can't buy me love, but it can buy me. Vivid dreams of Jimmy.
Oh no.
The Reverend Jimmy Swagger dashed on to his great reward this week.
Who was he or is he?
There's a televangelist who got caught stripping a $20 hooker just down the street from his own church.
Back
in the 80s.
No.
That one's funny. That one's funny, but I think it's what everybody likes too.
Yes.
That's why I said I was sorry for mine.
That's the thing though. We keep it funny. We keep it funny. But even as much as I didn't like him, I do understand.
Sam Kennison, a great thing we do. The man's pulling in like $2 million a year. It's like you think,
what?
Go to book the flight up and get the hookers and $2,000 on the chandeliers. Get back in time with Sunday service. We need $3 million for Brazil. But no, he goes down the street from his own, and just to be cute, he drives his own car. Tries talking it down for $20.
Now, Alchemy, do you get why I said I'm burning in hell for that answer? Because mine was the sex dungeon.
I I wasn't sure if I could say any of those words. I apologize. I was being overly cautious.
With this card, ladies and gentlemen, should I be worried about going to Home Depot with either of you? Should I be worried? Because now you have me curious.
I would just watch it going to Home Depot anyway this time, because there's a lot of things going on at Home Depot that involve federal authorities and people running for their lives. You know.
What do you think about the new facility in Florida?
I've seen it's air conditioned. It looks great. Better than some hotels I've stayed in.
I like that answer. If it's not offensive, you're just not trying. That's correct there. Alchemy has the correct response to that.
Humor only works if there's a potential for somebody to be offended. Okay, that's part of why it's funny.
Okay, what got me thrown out of Home Depot this time? Fapping into the toilet displays while oh, fuck you. Okay.
Targeted,
okay, I can see that. Alrighty. What got
targeted hit?
Yep. What got me thrown out of Home Depot?
Let him read.
What got me thrown out of Home Depot this time? Getting a tampon to clean the sand out of your vagina. What the fuck? What the hell?
Certain things you don't do at Home Depot, okay?
Do they even sell that kind of stuff there?
No, it's.
They do actually have a small section where they stick a few health.
Yeah.
Yeah, but usually it's like.
What got me thrown out of Home Depot this time? Firing a rifle in the air while balls deep in a squealing hog.
What in Home Depot?
Yeah, why would you?
Where? What Home Depot is this?
Clearly, you're in the garden center. If you're outside firing it into the air.
Probably. I'm hoping you're in the garden section. I'm hoping beyond hoping you're in the garden section.
At home in front of the kids. Got to go somewhere.
I did notice your okay. Anger response at number one.
You're also not in the deep south.
Alrighty, what got me thrown out of Home Depot this time? Committing ceremonial genitalia mutilation.
Genital mutilation.
What the hell? I question number 3.
Human rights.
I question number 3 big time because Freaky, what's up, buddy? I am terrified. If you're not in the garden section, then I am very scared for the people who are on the forklifts trying to lift those pallets you see. I'm very terrified if you're doing that.
Can I help you? Oh my God, what are you doing?
Also, you're not in the deep south.
Let's see. Number 1, I love you. I wholeheartedly love you, and that made me laugh. But you're a close second. You're a close second. And I mean that with all. I mean that with all due respect. But this one had me questioning life itself. What the fuck, Captain Bob? I am terrified. Next time we go to Home Depot, I'm leaving you in the car. I am leaving you in the car in your car seat.
I didn't
Eagle, I love your card. I love it. Thank you. I needed that.
That was a targeted hit at you.
That was a target hit, yes. But Captain Bob has you beat in the what the fuck department by a lot. But you're a close second though. You're a close second, and I give you full credit for that. Oh, Jesus Christ. Let me see.
In the 7th circle of hell, sinners must endure blank for all eternity.
Actually, screw this. I'll take a point hit. These cards suck. I'm not getting any write-ins.
Oh, yes, Freaky. Give me a second, buddy. Let me find you. You messaged me. Okay, perfect. Your timing's perfect. There you go, buddy. Got ya.
I sent him the link. I said that. These cards suck. Why am I getting the worst freaking cards?
Just do what you have to. Just use them.
Let's do what the rest of us do. Card dump. Yeah.
I've 3 times now thrown the entire hand away and got nothing playable. I'm getting annoyed, not because I'm worried about winning, but because it's not fun when you can't make good jokes. You know, I can't even hear you, you crazy bitch.
She knows some points. She can't even switch anything else. She hasn't won anything yet.
I get that. Just griping because I wanted a good card.
Hold on.
I hoarded that right in for a long time, and I used it up to insult anime and still didn't get a point.
Okay. In the 7th circle of hell, sinners must endure, actually being for real or eternity.
Oh, you don't say that word. You say
I didn't.
He didn't.
That's for the must endure gangbang with the kids from the Mickey Mouse Club or all eternity.
Shut up! Freak!
Depending on which group,
Yay.
If it's the group with Britney Spears and what's her face?
Angler.
But Britney Spears is still alive, isn't she?
Yeah, I know. And
So Fatal's still
not
coming in his stream this time, right?
Exodia, the Forbidden One for all eternity. Okay. And finally, must endure Nickelback for all eternity.
Nickelback.
Who is it?
Really?
What is Exodia?
Both the love and hate clubs for Nickelback are so over the top and over dramatic. They're kind of just annoying. 1 sec, I'm getting the game link in the chat. It's like, okay, there's much worse and much better bands. Can we just agree that they're mediocre but not that horrible?
Who is Exodia?
I don't know.
Exodia is the Yu-Gi-Oh character, that Yu-Gi-Oh card they people use it like you have 5 cards of Exodia, as in like the left arm, the right arm, the left leg, the right leg, and its head, and that means you win the duel instantly.
Yep.
What?
Are they any good?
Go ahead, pick one. Yeah, they're gonna talk anyway. Okay.
Because I don't know why you say, oh, you win by showing Exodia in your hand.
What will always get you laid? Being nice to her?
I'm sorry.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Okay, fair enough, Alchemy. I don't know that. I'm not a Yu-Gi-Oh fan. I found it overrated to me.
Yeah.
I played the card because I had nothing else.
No.
To be fair, I mean, it is a very complicated game. I mean, it is just about like...
It's not complicated to me. I find it over simple in my mind the way they write the characters.
Well, actually, that's a thought. I mean, what is the most extremely complicated game in all of like creation?
And I'm gonna be honestly clear: when you play modern Yu-Gi-Oh at this point, it's like people wasting so much time for one turn to just make them make the other player not having a chance to do anything.
Oh my god! Right?
I love anime, but most of the most beloved anime and anime manga and Japanese animation card games and stuff, the most popular ones I don't tend to like, and it's not because they're popular. I just never liked them. I'm with a couple exceptions. I don't like Pokemon. I don't like Yu-Gi-Oh. On Sailor Moon. It's just they're just not me.
Yeah, I know.
But that doesn't mean that I look down on anybody who likes them. They're not me. You know?
Pokemon has been fun in its own way.
Yeah, but now Pokemon has been ruined by scalpers, or I could say tourists who got into the Pokemon hobby. enable scalpers to
It's
happen.
never
I've
gotten
just
them to begin with.
Always
It's a
found that
card
stuff
game.
overrated.
Who are we waiting for, anyways?
Anime. Hurry up, you fat master.
Yeah, just get start. Well, hold on. You're not judging anyway.
Stop making comments about what your cards are. You're as bad as Kermit.
Especially if I'm wearing headphones and can't hear you half the time.
You wear headphones.
What will always get you laid?
I calm down.
Ventilation. What?
Validation from internet strangers.
Okay.
That's really ironic.
Okay, what will always get you laid? How many bagels I can fit on my penis?
Oh my god.
Actually, that'll probably work. Hey, ladies, check what I can do.
I brought breakfast. Okay, yeah. All right.
Wow.
I'll get you a strangely simulated hand job from Michael J. Fox.
Gross.
Yeah. What will always get you laid? Tapping Betty White.
What?
No.
Come on, she's already dead.
Back in the day, she was a cutie. All right. What will get you laid? Inviting smile of a Catholic priest.
That's the winner. I'm sorry. That's not even my card, but holy shit. 3 is fucked up enough just going for that Parkinson's hand job, but
Yeah, but Betty White is already dead, so we can't do anything about her.
Oh, it just makes it more
3
gross.
was not Betty White. It was Michael J. Fox.
Blank. Awesome in theory, kind of a mess in practice.
Oh, God. It's great to be back.
I was playing that horse girl game already came out already. It's kind of addicted, to be honest. Yeah. But still, I had to be careful not get into the gooner mode because of, you know.
Where are we at? Wait, there we go.
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
All righty. Receiving anal pleasure at Burger King. Awesome in theory, kind of a mess in practice.
That's such a horrible image, isn't it?
Oh.
Yet it probably happened.
It'd be worse if we getting anal pressure from
Probably. I can tell you from the time when I worked at one, we had to deal with all kinds of crazy shit, including somebody going through the drive-thru to pick up food with both him and the passenger naked while she's sucking him off.
Nice.
Yeah, I never had that.
And my wonderful co-worker just leaned out the window and went, "Oh, honey, couldn't you at least have waited for the food?"
Okay, moving on.
Doop-a-doop-doop.
Finger that stanky vajayjay. Awesome in theory, kind of mess in practice.
Meh.
If it's stanky, don't put your fingers there.
Yeah.
Same with your tongue, same with any other part. Stop fucking smelly twats and crazy bitches, okay?
Yes.
But
Take a
they
bath first, please.
say they're the best.
Eating the quesadilla explosion salad from Chili's. Awesome in theory, kind of a mess in practice.
Fair.
Kind of tame, all things considered, but sticking my tongue up here.
Yeah.
Awesome in theory, but mess in practice, especially after the quesadilla explosion chili.
Put those two together, it's worse.
Oh, God.
And then just stick the Burger King anal pleasures in it with it.
Reminded of a scene from Zach and Mary Make a Porno. The picture, I'm like, ow!
Gross.
Okay, right in this way.
Anyway.
But anyways,
Whoever decided to make Windex look drinkable.
But anyways, I caught the hate stalker who's been like sending screenshots of my posts and leaked photos of me. So he's already been dealt with anyway. For now.
Okay. Get your likes in.
Have you been sharing? Have you been sharing naughty photos on the internet?
Let's not go there, please. Anyway,
We're going with Burger King.
yay! What's secretly a Russian plot to destabilize the West? Penis juice. Up your anus, slut. Wow. I really need to get tickets to go see Jimmy Carr. He'd have a field day with my tits.
Oh, God, yeah.
Especially if I bring the little Asian gnome with me.
Oh, Jimmy Carter.
I just write him a message to read when he's going through all the fan mail from the audience that just says that I'm a fat albino with Tourette's. Take a picture with me, see who the bigger is.
The bigger twat is, yeah.
Yeah, twat's a good substitute word for it, but the word he likes.
How much longer are we gonna do this and/or stream?
I don't know.
Well, I set the thing for 11. Me and Rosetta are tied at 6, so I'm doing pretty good tonight.
Oh no.
Yeah, you haven't beat me in a long time. Are you feeling hopeful? I almost always win. I'm good at that.
Yes, you are.
Anyway. Beat me.
What's secretly a Russian plot to destabilize the West? The homosexual agenda. That actually makes too much sense.
It's kind of on the nose, yeah.
What's secretly a Russian plot to destabilize the West? Kate Mulgrew, evidence of reverse evolution.
Who is
That's
that?
my card. The bitch from Voyager. And I say bitch because she is a feminist psychopath who is a bitch to everyone on set. What's secretly a Russian plot to destabilize the West? Having your abortion in the third trimester so the stakes you make from the body are bigger.
Ew.
Okay, nope.
What's secretly a Russian plot to destabilize the West? Black, white, Puerto Rican, and Chinese boys. So no native boys. We're fine. Okay, got it. What's secretly a Russian plot to destabilize the West? Eating cans of uncooked SpaghettiOs until your stomach explodes. Okay, well, I love card 3 because I wrote it in my dank period. It doesn't quite work for this joke. 1 is a little too on the nose. 4 is not bad. 5 is weird, but nah. Honestly, I have to give it to this, and it's not just because I wrote it. You're playing to my hatred of her, though.
Yeah.
Sunday. Prepare for the big
Sunday. Prepare for the biggest event of Motocross Series presents Blank live at the Metrodome.
The Metronome.
Oh, Metrodome.
Man.
Somewhere I got a recording of a parody of that.
Man, I really need this.
Commercial with two announcers giving it the top of their lungs. With the shadow lanes like Big Daddy Don Garlitz and Iron Man. My voice sounds like I just swallowed 6 times. It's gallons of honey. I've got penny fuel. Well, I should actually pick one. Alrighty. Shall I read this one? Let's just start here. Sunday. Prepare for the biggest event of summer as Motocross Series presents. Flip it. That's your cue, Hermit.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. It presents Con. That's all that Metrodome. I can see what they're going for there.
Motocross Series present.
A port foot call. Bald bitch gets squad with snakes. Out of the Metrodome. Okay. Bring the kids. Okay, no.
The summer as Motocross Series presents eating the goat wife you fucked the night before.
I wrote that. That was a joke about somebody in the Middle East.
Well,
what do you?
Dearborn's not far from Detroit, so.
What did you say about me not telling cards? Here you are telling cards.
No, I didn't say I played that one. I said I wrote that one. That's from my deck.
Yeah.
Fair point. Summer as Motocross Series presents
Nuking Slovenia with nuclear dog shits live in the Metrodome.
Motocross Series presents monetizing my pussy at the Metrodome.
Stroke that pussy. I mean, wow.
I mixed up a few words. So
now would that be Bonnie Blue or Lily Phillips?
Monetize this shit. Oh yeah, that was the other one that I got to. Who do you think Bonnie Blue sat with on a recent panel while they sat there and kissed up to each other and gave each other accolades?
What, her and Lily?
Her and Tate.
Oh, those.
Yeah. What would you do if you meet Andrew Tate in person?
Leave.
I'm not saying it. I get in trouble. Anyway.
You better just leave.
You can just ignore him if you ever are in the same area as him.
Well, it wasn't asked if I was near him. It said if I met him, first of all. Second of all, I don't ignore when predators are near in my area.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But was he
okay?
Was he ever actually?
Let's drop it. Let's drop it.
Anime, you're up.
Anime. So, Bob, if I told you I have an entire large standing freezer that's full of nothing but meat, you would say,
"Hey, Daniel, hope you're doing good."
What'd you say, Bob?
Not unexpected.
Alrighty. I heard you were cleaning a gun barrel between your teeth.
Clenching.
Clenching a gun barrel between your teeth and ended up ending. Oh, Jesus Christ!
Congrats!
Wow.
That's dark and dank. I love it.
I heard you were sucking on a urinal puck. Congratulations. Fuck. Oh God. Wow.
Okay.
You know what? I did see somebody do that yesterday in person. So this.
Oh dear God.
Anyway, read the card.
Sorry, I heard you were crawling back inside your mother and staying there. Holy hell! Wow. Jesus Christ! I heard you were putting amputees on a treadmill. Congrats.
Oh.
Wow. I heard you were shooting at some kid. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, my God.
Okay, can I point out before you make any decisions? Well done, everybody, this round.
Yes. Wow.
This whole list is fucking dank as hell and funny.
That's what makes it so difficult. It's like... One.
I love my answer, but I don't even think my answer is the best one on you.
I'm a little slow in the uptake. The last one is really a reference to an internal. It's not a reference to killing kids, really.
It's a reference
to. It's a crude way of impregnating someone. Okay, no.
Mm-hmm.
Kids being a slang term for a sperm cell. No.
Oh yeah.
Let's
Just
see.
Sure.
Holy.
Oh my God! They're advocating German. No, they're not.
Holy shit, guys. What the fuck? What? I guess all of you just woke up and chose violence today.
Oh, hell yes.
Let's see.
It's the weekend after the 4th of
One,
July. The smell of cordite is still in the air.
1, 2, 3, and sorry, 1, 2, 4, and 5. Jesus fucking Christ.
Honestly, I will say with 3, even though it's not as quietly direct with it, it's still really fucked up when you really think about it.
Yeah.
Work them stumps. Come
on. Number
Come
2,
on,
I'm
Stumpy,
sorry.
run, bitch.
Just what the fuck?
Oh. Okay, Disney presents Blank on Ice. Okay, yeah. I think this is a case of Robot Chicken may have come to our rescue. Because they did a sketch. Disney presents Star Wars on Ice, and they did a thing. It's like, so hopefully someone, no, you plan for that? Don't. I just saw it, and it's a joke. No. Nothing else really made any sense. So.
Hey, Fire Devil, what's up, buddy?
Sorry
It's been a
about that,
while.
by the
Wow, it's
Yeah,
been a while since you appeared here.
Yeah, Fardell never chat with any of us, to be honest.
Well, he's busy with his own thing, which I do respect. I like
know
it when
it's
people
true.
are on the. If my friends are busy with their own projects, by all means, I show support. It's like, yeah, go ahead.
But I know he's like it's in voice chat, but he can lead text. That's the only thing, you know.
Hold on.
And besides, I kind of caught my hate stalker who's been doing this whole heinous, shit, going after me, all this, stuff to do, to get me gaslighted over someone else's threads page. I know what I mentioned, but like, so now I'm not sure if he's gonna be back for more, but I'm gonna keep an eye on him.
Okay. All right. Disney presents a Broadway cast of a chorus line on Ice. Okay. Being a slut on Ice. Segregated water fountains on Ice. Bush's baked beans on Ice. And Elon Omar being deported on Ice. I'll have to make sure that's spelled right, but it's going on the list for now.
I think 2 is pretty accurate to Disney. Actually, 2 and 3 are accurate to Disney. Because their history with how they treat women in different races is pretty horrific.
Disney presents Blue Velvet on Ice.
I think 2 and 3 are the most accurate. Some of the others are funny, but those are definitely the most accurate.
Oh dear.
Come on, Steph.
Pick it. Well, she got disconnected for a second. Okay. Moving on. I'm so ready for blank. Okay. No, we're doing that one. I want to save that card for a bit. Whoa. Okay.
Rule 1 here: do not actually read some of the stuff you're going to see in these cards right now.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Lord, I apologize for this.
Well, I don't apologize for mine.
You never do, you psycho bitch. You never apologize for your mouth either, even when you deserve an apology.
Anyway.
I love ya, bitch. Wow.
I love you too, you crazy bitch.
Pick a card, Kermit.
Da, 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 da. Kermit.
Kermit.
Actually, he typoed his name in the game. It says Kermit.
Kermit.
Man.
Actually, it does over here too.
Yeah.
Which means he probably just copied and pasted it.
Could be plus or nine bills. Doesn't confuse this guy.
Kermit. Wow.
Yeah. Do we need to skip them?
Kermit, sweetie, we don't want to have to put you backstage.
I think, Carmen, if you can hear the sound of our voice,
give us a sign you're with us.
Kermit, you've been using your phone, but why don't you use a computer? I'm just saying.
You there, Kermit?
Man, is he asleep?
Hold on.
I'm hearing little noises, but they're not making sense, and I'm not hearing words.
I'm gonna have to mark him as away. We'll be here all night. So,
if you need to mark him as away until we can get a response, that's okay.
Yeah, there we go. Didn't take. Moving on. Okay.
Lord, I apologize for my answer. Excuse me while I hide my
Okay, I am so ready for going to the location of a mass shooting to fuck the bullet holes in the corpses.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Okay, that one. Slow it down. I gotta copy shit.
Okay, carry on. Doopy doop, doopy doop, doopy doop, doopy doop.
All right.
Anime, you had quite a visceral reaction to that one.
Yes,
Okay,
I did.
So ready for chemical weapons. Okay, yeah.
That doesn't seem that bad after the first card.
Yeah, I am so ready for using Kevin Costner's a punching bag for ghosting Jewel.
Oh no, that's the least of the reasons to hit him.
Why did he ghost Jewel? Anyway, using a fake name and shame while ordering an extra small fleshlight.
Lord, I apologize for that. I am fucked up, aren't I?
No more than the rest of us. Oops. All right, where are we here?
I don't know. I think that one had a special place in hell to it.
Okay. Scientists have created an artificial flavor that tastes exactly like blank. course, that begs the question of how do you know? That requires somebody actually tasted the real thing and compared. Okay. I'm gonna start bugging Anthony and say, when do you need another open mic now? It's supposed to be once a month. It's been like 3 or 4 months. So at least.
Okay.
Oh, that's great. Okay. All right. Scientists have created an artificial flavor that tastes exactly like Madonna's stinky ass aging overused pussy, aka the world's largest hot dog consuming hallway. All right. A bit wordy.
A bit wordy, but accurate. And wordy cards aren't always bad.
Yeah, that's my piece of me. Okay. Tastes exactly like country legend Toby Keith. Be less horrible if he was still alive. Yeah, Toby, we got a new market thing. We're opening ice cream tastes just like you. Give us a liquor. So you still love this bar? Because this is what they're doing. All right. Tastes exactly like the countless number of parts that have pounded into the average chair. And it's not a write-in. And lastly, tastes exactly like a hippo taking a huge shit.
Kind of bland, but still a little
Yeah,
fun.
it's we'll put it on the list.
Yeah.
I think I like my answer the most this time.
Even though, like, some people keep calling me a lewd tuber, which I'm not anyway.
Okay.
All right, moving on.
Let's see. What?
Yes, I know a lot of work went into the Madonna thing, but I just got to give credit for this. That's a use of a proper card that shows up. And yeah, it fits. It works.
So did you kick Kermit out?
It also fit. The other one did fit this.
It did, but yeah.
So how long is this round going to be over?
When we reach 11.
Why do I keep getting cards that line up with the sex jokes at me like this? Every fucking time I'm Czar, almost.
I mean, it's only about the bagel part. Oh my god. But still.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
The bagel part. Bagel.
Wow. You eat penis. What? Say what? Stick a penis in your butt.
Taking that at Jimmy's cards. Like, I eat.
I remember you say eat it.
Shh, let me read. Yeah. And just what the fuck am I supposed to do with a sober Irishman who doesn't care for potatoes? Marry him.
Oh my god.
Oh, sorry, did I say that? My husband is Scotch Irish. He's never drank and he's not a big fan of potato foods. That's actually accurate for my husband. Oh my god. And just what the fuck am I supposed to do with a chicken furry get ass fucked with a missile? Enjoy it?
Oh,
and I wrote that card.
Oh no.
And just what the fuck am I supposed to do with this needy, horny Indian woman with big milkers? Make her your co-host. I'm sure it came from you.
Oh. Copy that one.
And just what the fuck am I supposed to do with affirmative action? Fuck it. I mean, okay, this is actually not the easiest one. Why not? I'll give it to him. Happy? Make her your co-host.
Well, we had a lot of we had two references in that one, your husband and you.
Mm-hmm.
I do like the potato one though. That potato one was pretty funny.
I'm hearing snoring. No, I'm guessing it's Kermit. So yeah.
I hope that's going okay, Fire.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, fine. We'll be more altruistic here.
There we go.
So
I won't.
I don't have anything that would be
I
particularly.
think mine could end racism if you did enough of it, but not in the way people want to.
Oh God, I had a hilarious one for this one.
You know, the more rank ones, they'll just win it.
What will end racism once and for all? Pipe bombs. Oh my lord. Jeez Christ. What will end racism once and for all? Getting kicked to death by a giraffe.
Not unless every person that gets that. Doesn't quite work.
What will end racism?
And a racist once and for all. Sure.
Yeah. What will end racism once and for all? And an interracial handshake.
Boring.
Still good.
Guys, I do an interracial fuck all the time, and it hasn't ended racism.
What will end racism once and for all? Getting touched by Barney the dinosaur and liking it.
No, that will make people paranoid, obsessive, racist assholes.
I would say 1 and 2.
Search your feelings.
But the giraffe one, I'd be way more curious to see that happen. Good job, Freaky.
What?
But
it's weird as hell today. I'm sorry, no offense, Freaky.
Okay, chance to dump multiple cards. More forward blank. All we had was blank.
Yeah.
I'm going to hell for this.
Oh God, what did you do?
You're always going.
Oh, I'm so fucked up. I mean,
And this is news.
Okay, is that Kermit again?
No, he's out. He's snoring.
no, the snore-like sound you're hearing is Freaky's breathing, I'm sure.
No,
I heard definite snoring.
No, I heard like
No, I mean because we've heard it since Kermit's been muted and backstage.
Okay.
So, Freaky has that occasional sound that sounds like it because his mic picks him up weird.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're good. You're good. Right. You're good, Freaky. Don't
Mom, read for your wife.
All right. Before eating children, all we had was rubbing a wiener until the genie comes out.
Okay, what the?
Oh my God! What are you doing to that poor wiener? What are you doing to that thing?
That wasn't my set, but congratulations on it.
Before the hamburger, all we had was a questionable live-action 70s Burger King mascot.
Go see those commercials and get back to me on that because that was very questionable.
Let me copy that one down first. Will you slow the hell down? I have certain administrative tasks to deal with here. The least of which is correcting a typo here. Burger King's supposed to be capitalized, and
Okay,
hamburger is McDonald's. Okay. I learned to read from commercials. Okay, I'm very tricky.
Anyway, read the next one, Bob.
Yeah, next one. Before jerk-off instructions, all we had was drinking fetus smoothies. Okay, wasn't the fetus smoothies mine? Before injecting speed into one arm and horse tranquilizer another, all we had was smashing my balls on my climax.
At least I'm not the only fucked up one here.
Yeah.
Mine is still really savage and gross when you think about it. No, Alchemy, I disagree.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it works either way, but I disagree because there was intention to that, I'm sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
With all due respect, Alchemy, while you are, you're gonna get the same outcome regardless if it was reversed or not.
It's still fucked up nevertheless.
Okay, do I just go for inappropriate and disturbing or mocking somebody I hate who's a celebrity? Decisions. Oh. I'll go for the inappropriate. I mean, technically, you could consider it kind of a fetus smoothie to be a, swallowing bitch who does deep throating. But anyway. Anyway, go on. Where is the Nomish? Somebody reading for Mickey?
What makes life worth living? Crushing your enemies, seeing them driven before you, and hearing the lamentation of their women.
Okay, that's a write-in, but it's basically a card that's in multiple decks.
Could be. Just want to make sure it's in
fuck!
Just want to make sure it's in ours. Yeah. There should be limitation.
Okay, one sec. Let him read.
No, I had to see them first. Jesus Christ, slow down. Okay, what makes life worth living? The pink lightsaber in Mom's dresser. Okay. The one from Clone of Willy? No. All right, what makes life worth living? Edward Dildo Hands. Okay.
Unless it's a card about killing or destruction or shit like that, Sean Penn just shouldn't be used. Also, I really don't get you guys' taste today.
It's a Conan quote.
It's also boring.
I mainly got to get down the record and get it on the deck. Okay. My girlfriend broke up with me. I asked her why, and all she said was blank. Damn, I had a real good one here, too.
Of course. I am a very, very fucked up person.
I'm not saying.
Read, Bob.
Hold on. Dang it. All right, my girlfriend broke up with me. I asked her why, but all she said was putting lotion on the skin.
Oh,
Not
God.
bad.
But all she said was, "You shot my father in the nuts with a rifle. Fuck you."
No, that would have been, "You killed my father. Prepare to die" would have been better.
Yeah.
Oh, darn it.
Do we have that in there? Or
I don't think so.
let's see, squeezing babies for the precious oil. Where do you think baby oil comes from? Okay. All right. All she said was finding out they were doing a tour of Sweet Baby.
Oh, God.
Ew.
Oh, wow.
I wrote that card in reference to a reason for committing a massive, horrible tragedy, by the way. Anyway. Another card I wrote long ago.
Mm-hmm.
Far, far away in my warped little head.
Okay. You need a copy of this one, or should I just go with what it should be?
Well, that's actually cool. I can actually pause the membership. That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, as much crap as Google gets, at least they give you the option to pause a subscription till next month. So they'll.
Yeah, like which
That's a good thing. That's why I like.
Like Google can pause any subscription you have.
Anyway,
you
Bob,
can
pick your win.
But anyways,
Gotta go with the baby oil. Okay.
Yay!
For the next couple of months, I'm just gonna have enough money saved up because
Blank?
I just gotta get myself.
Jim will fix it.
It's
I am so sorry, Shiny. What were you trying to say?
In the next
Go
couple
ahead.
of months, when I have enough money saved up and back up in my account, maybe I'll have enough money for a Meta Quest instead of the Switch 2.
Nice.
Yeah, well, we might think about having VR streams at some point.
This should carry a little extra weight because if you know they ordered the Jim will fix it thing. Yeah. Actually, you can do it for you. There we go. Hold on. Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. All right. Yeah, because the Jim will fix it. We're referring to Jimmy Savile. Let's settle him
Just
the
a moment.
Mm-hmm. Like there's the DVD, original DVD of a certain doctor, the two doctors with Colin Baker and Patrick Troughton. The extras includes a segment from Jim will Fix It. One of Jimmy
time to read.
Yeah, okay.
Child abuse, Jim will fix it.
Yep. That's our Jimmy.
Leaving my niece at the park closest to the convicted. Jim will fix it.
That's a yep.
My fat daughter, Jim will fix it.
He doesn't care.
Getting the dick stuck in a toaster, Jim will fix it.
I imagine he probably tried that.
Okay, actually, all of these kind of are good.
Yeah. Special reference to Jimmy Savile. The man would brag about being banned from every girls' school in Britain. So, yeah. He probably wasn't joking.
Bob, you might actually get your win for the first time in a long time.
Well, we haven't played in a long time anyway, so either way.
No, I'm talking about how many, all our last, so many games. I've had kind of a good winning streak going for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
You said you were going to get me, break that. You may actually have it this game.
Okay.
Because I haven't lost a game of cards in 30, 40 games, so... Because you're not the only people I play with either.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's you might break my streak.
All right, Anime, you're up.
Alrighty. Home video of Oprah sobbing into a Lean Cuisine was all I needed. I feel violated after you gave me liberals. That's a good one. Okay, let's see. Hot lettuce was all I needed. I feel violated after you gave me the euphoric squeak of rubbing styrofoam together. Oh my
Sensory
god.
hell. Sensory hell.
All right.
Yep.
Wow.
Taking a hard dick in the ass and liking it was all I needed. I feel violated after you gave me beloved television star Bill Cosby. God damn it.
Oh.
Anyway.
Casually suggesting a threesome was all I needed. I feel violated after you gave me Vietnam flashbacks. Let's see.
Diddy Mao, Diddy Mao. Okay. All righty.
I have no idea. My brain's starting to struggle more. I think I'm getting tired.
Yeah, you need some sleep.
Yeah, sleep's overrated. That's an overrated thing. I got yes. Wow.
Okay. Everyone down to the ground. We don't want to hurt anyone. We're just here for all you can eat shrimp for $8.99. All right.
1 sec.
We're just here for the sheer fucking, the sheer fun of fucking hostages in their rectal cavities while they scream in terror. Okay, let me copy that down. Add it to the list, which is now up to, let's see. Good Lord, how many pages?
I don't want to know how long that is. We really need to go through and work on it.
Yeah. We're just here for an eye mask and ball gag.
Oh my god.
Boring. I have those.
All right, we don't want anyone. We're just here for huge big balls of jizz. Full of jizz.
4 and 2 go really well together. Actually, 3 can even be thrown into it. The only one that doesn't work in that set is the first one. Although, considering some people's swats, it still might. I mean, sorry.
It's the safer work alternative. Okay. Yeah.
Yay!
First thing is in this one, it's like that ship sailed a long time ago. Okay. Yes, madam, we regret to inform you that the office of blank has denied your request for blank. Okay. Yes, madam, we get to inform you that the officer throwing a man by his big penis has denied a request for rupturing a man with air pressure. We regret to inform you that the office of not giving a shit about the third world has denied a request for crushing all your prima gems into fine powder and throwing them into a single breath like with the breath of a pylon. At the office of another failed marriage has denied your request for a thermonuclear detonation. Divorce settlement not going well. At the office of catcalling women and full body brokers has denied request for a newest reality show, Who Wants to Fuck a Muslim Virgin. Well, we did get a write-in out of that. So it's
Yes, Lydian?
What the? It's Cards Against
The
Humanity.
gnome is back.
taking long enough.
You came in going, what the fuck did I just walk into? Oh, wait, it's cards.
Yeah, it's just still kind of
Oh, come on.
Yes.
I didn't even get many likes at it. You're all mean.
it's just disjointing.
Well, yeah, that's part of the whole.
Like I'm just chilling,
Mhm.
no like horrid sort of stuff like cards. We come in and it's just full send already.
What can you find in the Card Czar's basement? For the record, we're in an apartment, no basement. There's a downstairs though, with more
The
apartments.
dead
We can't
body.
really do much about that.
Yeah. So it's kind of imagine if I had a basement.
Now imagine if there's no dead bodies there.
No dead bodies, just the ashes of them.
Let the ashes hit the floor.
Do you need therapy?
No?
Yeah.
I'm just here to chill. I don't think I'll join the cards game.
Aw.
No, we're almost done. And as soon as
I'm-
it's done, I got to get going. I just thought you should come say hi to everybody before we go off
match
to
point here, yeah. So
talk and end the night. Well, you're on match point. I'm a couple away, but
yeah.
we've got a chance.
Well, one way from match point, yeah.
Uh-huh.
What can you find in the Card Czar's basement? Kevin Costner roasting an open fire. No, that's Rosetta's basement.
Yeah, you've got the wrong cards are here for that
Yeah.
card.
Costner roasting on an open fire.
Let me shove it up his ass. Card. I'm being a terrible, terrible woman tonight.
Okay, next.
I don't think gender has anything to do with it.
Oh, come
Get
on.
fucked. Anally with a red hot
God
rusty
damn it.
poker.
Damn thing's fucking up on here.
Tiny bitch.
All right. Card Czar's basement. A naked, tied up female Borg.
That's a suck up card.
And that usually
That
doesn't.
is,
And I generally don't respond well to suck up cards, okay? So I make
no, he doesn't.
No.
It doesn't usually work with Bob unless it's really well played one.
And that's
How about a suck up board, if you know what I mean?
Shut up, Lydia.
moving on. 3 consecutive happiness.
So 3 boards.
That's an insult.
Okay, what can you find in the Card Czar's basement? Tits, maybe.
I mean, the write-ins will be great cards for the deck, but I don't think they were great for this.
No. I'll go and copy down the female Borg thing. But, yeah.
No, copy both. They'll both.
I
be
got
useful.
them. I got them both. Yeah, I got the other one. And Borg should be
The odd card out in this kind of quadrant is Kevin Costner. Everything else kind of ties together.
The naked female Borg with the tits and the 3 consecutive seconds of happiness because he's just not very long
I think they were
lasting.
going with that.
Well,
Oh,
they're
come on.
kind
How
of
did that get the win?
modular tits. If he doesn't like A cups today, he could switch it for D cups. If he doesn't like D cups today, he could go back to the A cups. Tits in the basement.
I
didn't know
genuinely
that
think
one.
you're dodging any of the answers I put in at this point
Anyway,
because you laugh hard at mine and then you vote for everything else.
the Pride of the Seventh Fleet.
Captain Asian deck.
Yes, Rosetta?
Alchemy in the chat made a joke earlier about a Chinaman coming out of somebody's anus, and it made me think of you.
Oh.
I love you, idiot.
No comment.
Oh, we missed
A
a segment.
55-gallon drum of lube, the pride of the 7th Fleet.
In the Navy.
Flaky. Ew. Ew. Sharks with legs, the pride of the 7th Fleet. No, that would be the terror to the 7th Fleet. Hipsters. No, nobody's proud of them. Okay, no, fuck that.
The torpedo chute is ready, Captain. I'm ready.
All right. How can you possibly have sex without blank? Oh my God. Oh dear God.
The America Party.
Oh, fuck.
Da, 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 da.
Which way do I want to go here? Yeah, we'll go with it. All right. Just go for the dank. Okay, anime, you're up.
Alrighty. How can you possibly have sex without the Steve Irwin special? Oh, Jesus Christ.
I wrote that card.
Yeah.
How can you possibly have sex without uncut daddy dick?
Ew.
How can you possibly have sex without expressing sexual enthusiasm in the form of the pelvic thrust?
Okay, yeah, but boring answer.
How can you possibly have sex without no clothes on, penis, and vagina?
Boring answer.
I expect better.
I believe those were card dumps. They make sense, but they're really dull.
I believe it too, but there you go.
You know a dump when you see it.
It's all tied up.
Yeah,
What'd you say, Lydian?
That you know a dump when you see it.
Get fucked. By somebody who poked holes in a condom.
Yep.
Listen, shitface. Get dumped
That's
on.
you, bitch.
I get something, guys.
See, this would have been the place for Daddy Dick.
Say that again.
That's round. I used the card that said uncut Daddy Dick. If you wanted to use that as a joke, this would have been a better place to do it. Read the card.
So you're a connoisseur of daddy dick. Gotcha.
No, I'm not. God, I hate that kink. But if you're gonna make a dank joke, make it right.
Yeah. Okay. No, well, then hindsight's being 2020. So, yeah.
I don't like my cards, so I expect Bob to beat me.
All right. The pained whimper is coming from my basement. Kid tested, mother approved.
What do you think you are, Austrian? I mean,
Weapons grade autism. Kid tested, mother approved. All right. Getting fucked by a one-man human centipede. The fuck? Grinding and humping. Kid tested, mother approved.
I see a trend with most of these. Although I think one went a little more blunt with the joke than the others did. I need my weapons grade autism out of it.
If I had a blank card for this, I would say abortion kit.
I had a blank card. Okay.
Coat hanger abortions. Kid tested, mother approved.
Ooh. Why can't I sleep at night?
Because use the abortion kit. Kid tested, mother approved.
No. Coat hanger abortions. Abortion kits are actually nicer.
Fuck her gently, as they say.
No, scramble her insides. I mean. Yes, Lydian?
What?
Did you angle the camera nice and down to make yourself not look like a midget?
Wow. What?
Alchemy gave an answer for this card.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Why can't I sleep at night? Duct tape's painful on the mouth. I mean. Who are we waiting on? Anime, hurry the hell up.
Oh.
All right. Why can't I sleep at night? Paralyzed by Snoo from Chocolate
We found
Mountain.
Anime's answer already. God, can you try anything else, Fat Master 2000?
Sorry.
Why can't I sleep at night? Freezing vapor of crushing it and snorting it. Snorting the ashes of dead relatives for a cheap high.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yummy, right?
Farting so hard it makes a second Grand Canyon.
If I had a blank card for this, my answer would be the roofies weren't strong enough.
Yeah, what we got here? And
There you are.
All right. Darn, I can't play my blank. I'm really feeling it. We're doing this, might as well.
I love my little group of fucked up friends. Remember? So how many of the people in this group am I taller than?
I think all of them.
I think
I
all
don't
of
know how
us.
tall MGTOW and Freaky and Shiny are.
I don't know how tall Freaky is.
Stephanie's basically your height, right, Rob?
A couple inches tall. She's
A couple inches taller is still
Couple
shorter
tall.
than me.
Yeah. Yeah, and she's about 5'10". She's dressed up full height.
Yep. So, curious how tall Freaky, Shiny, and MGTOW are. But we'll find out some other time.
Okay.
I know I'm taller than 4 of you. And that's okay.
Gangrene on your bean. I'm really feeling it.
You would. That would hurt.
Yeah. Up until the time it fell off.
Mm-hmm.
Introducing labor with a McFlurry.
Inducing.
Inducing flavor. Ow. Yeah, you don't feel it, and that's like check your neurologist.
Ow.
All right. Being pegged by my girlfriend. Yeah, I'm really feeling it.
Kind of a boring answer, but you would feel it.
Mm-hmm. We'll copy that down in a minute. Accidentally shaking a man's balls instead of his hand.
How the hell would you do that?
Really uncoordinated, and he's naked. Okay. Yeah. Let me copy this down first.
Interesting set of answers. I don't get how number 4 would happen. And my brain's coming up with some really twisted scenarios to make it happen.
Hmm.
Of course, number 2's got some really twisted scenarios to make it happen too.
Yeah.
Spank me.
That last night, I mean. Ow.
We'll go with that one. There.
I win.
Woohoo! Congrats, Eagle Rider. God damn.
You almost got me, Bob.
That was a hard fought one. All right.
Yeah, it was. I like it when it's hard. I mean,
Well, guys,
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
Oh my god.
Guys.
Shiny, Freaky, how
Good
tall
night.
are you guys? I'm curious.
Huh?
How tall are
I
you?
can't remember. I can't remember.
Yeah, to me, I'm like 5'8".
Look in your driver's license if you have one. It'll say it.
I could
But the only
picture
thing-
Eagle.
A
I could
rough
picture-
guess would work, you know.
I could picture Eagle Rider doing this when they told her actual height.
But in my ID, it's not even updated because the only thing is it still says 5'6", but I'm supposed to be 5'8".
Anywho, I'm going to bed. Good night, guys.
Have a
Night.
wonderful
Good
time.
night.
Have a wonderful night, Freaky. Good to
Way
see
to
you.
dodge the
again.
question there, yeah. All right.
Oh well.
But anyway,
I'm pretty sure Freaky's probably 6'3". He's just not wanting to admit it.
because we know Freaky is that tall. He admitted in his past videos.
What?
Well,
Alrighty. Well, we're gonna wrap up here. It was fun to do Cards Against Humanity to ride out the end of the stream. It was good.
Yeah. So we should have an Uno night or something.
I really wish I could, but it would require a lot of participation. But I
Yeah.
will keep an eye out, though.
Well, let's see.
I
I have
can't
to
hear
check
the
out
word Uno without thinking of their write your own answer decks. There's a decks now where you fill in your own prompts. People have to obey if you do the wild cards, and they basically turned into a favorite for sex games.
Yeah. But the Uno game for PC, well, they don't have that type of thing.
Damn.
The
I
thing
am
is,
Oh,
we
but that's
should.
my favorite type of Uno. I mean,
I'm getting bot comments on my Rumble.
Yeah. But anyways, I was planning to stream the VTuber Manager game, but it's too unbecoming to stream it because I don't want to get bonked by YouTube, Twitch, or Kick for this.
it's so strange. Like you could be doing something perfectly fine, and then they'll change their mind. Like, no, we decided this is no.
Yeah, because the game, I don't know where to stream something that's too unbecoming, man. As an NSFW.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh God, what? Yeah, these people are bots. Who posts their phone number in a fucking comment? People are stupid.
Blame the crypto bros who using bots.
Yeah, it's like, let's help promote your channel. Let's help boost it. Yeah, fucking right.
Yeah, same thing with what.
Yeah, charge me $3,000. Yeah, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I'm not charging nobody. If it's something for free, I'll do.
Yep. So we had fun tonight. Good to see a lot of people. I know we had that crazy political segment in the first hour and a half, but
Yeah, I
luckily
missed that.
everybody handled their opinions well, and I'm proud of everybody for doing that, despite the topics at hand. But we managed to keep it cool. And then we did Cards Humanity for the last hour. I had fun tonight. I really needed tonight after the last few days I've been having. And not wanting to commit a felony against a customer for a remark they told me in my face, so I'll leave it at that. I love my job, but I swear people love pushing it, though.
Yeah, you since you ended the stream early because you had to go sleep early to go to work early, right?
No, it's not that. It's because I know everybody. Oh, I know Eagle Rider has to go. I know Lydian has to go. I know Bob has to go. So,
Yeah.
I figure we'll just end it early. We usually go way longer than this, but I've been testing out like the shorter stream of Nights the Anime Table, and it seems to resonate with a few people, but I noticed a
Yeah.
lot of other people are missing the longer ones where we do go all out and everything. But it's the 4th
Yeah.
of July weekend. Everybody deserves to have fun. Do your
Yeah.
own if you want to do your own thing, that's completely fine. Also, I woke up late because that's how tired I was. But
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
around for everything. But anyway, check out everybody's channels. Alchemy, you've been fun. Thank you again. Fire Devil, glad to see that you're doing well and everything. Glad that you're alive. And
yeah.
and also Impermanent Air Forge, sending you big mad hugs. Freaky, thank you again for coming here. Shiny, thanks again.
No problem.
Bullet Silence is Bullet Silence, love having you here. Sunflower,
Yeah.
Cal Ford, Big Angry Phil, we love you. Just
Yeah.
wonderful people. Also, Crystal Kitten. Wonderful.
Yeah.
It's to see Pops.
Wait.
One of my
Well-
one of the many people who keep inspiring me and keep motivating me. Thank you again. And
So, Rosetta, if you're free like during like the time of the week or next week, maybe we'll do like a podcast stream if you want to join in.
It depends on the days of the week if I have availability. What time are you thinking?
Like during my days off, I'm basically not working on like in the middle to later to the week, so like more likely I don't work on like I'm basically mostly free in the afternoons on that or the evenings. That's the only either way option I would say. It depends on like what since you know I'm in the Eastern Standard Time, you know.
Yeah. What were you saying, Lydian?
I think you're looking for specific days.
Yeah. I was more thinking which days are you most likely to be trying to do this?
But you know, if it's like a rainy day, most likely I'll do in the afternoon.
Weekdays. Days of the week. Specifics. And from specific times to what
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, but I work Saturday, so and also I go to church on Sunday, so in the afternoon.
More likely
Sometimes, not all the
Wednesday,
time.
Thursdays, or Friday during the afternoon.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
good.
Depends if it's raining. If not, well, I'll see if I got no gym or anything. That's all I can say. If not, well, I'll do in the evenings. You know, on
All
my
I can
on my
say
time zone.
is most nights I'm busy. The nights I sometimes have available are usually Wednesday and Friday.
Oh.
So those would be the most likely days you could try to make it happen if you want me to come on with you sometime.
Yeah, because it'll be like, you know, we'll be talking about some topics like what goes on. Maybe it could be anything related to VTubers, anything related to what's going on. Like, I don't want to go too political or anything, you know what I mean, you know.
Yeah, that's fair,
Yeah.
Alchemy. I see what I can find on things later. But yeah,
the thing is,
let me know things later. We'll figure something out.
I'll see if I'm free to do a podcast. That's the thing, you know. Because the thing is, I never done it.
Saturdays, I'm usually busy, and when I'm not, I'm trying to help Anime do a few streams here and there for Fatal, so he's not completely left out.
That
Thursday, I'm busy all day, and then I do evening stuff with him and some of my other friends, and then Sundays are here and other stuff. So it's like the only real days I usually have are if I'm not hooked on another stream Friday or sometimes Wednesday if Piper isn't streaming.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
That reminds
sometimes it could be a
What?
possibility we could do a collab.
One sec. What was that anime?
that reminds me. You reminded me, by the way. I'm thinking Saturday the 19th.
Absolutely. I'm back now, so we can do this more again.
Yeah, because the 12th I'm going to be busy playing a brand new game that came out this week. This week, so I'll be busy with that. But I'm willing to.
And I'm sure after the game you'll be busy playing with yourself.
Funny.
Oh my god!
But I'm thinking the 19th we could do another one. We could do another one with Fatal. I meant to message him about that, but I'll message him tonight, see if he's available for the 19th.
Okay.
Because that would be a good one. That would be a good one right there, where we're
Wow.
not tied to everything.
Well,
But
this coming Friday, it's gonna be free Slurpee Day at 7-Eleven, and also. Yeah, I think so. It is free Slurpee Day, and there's nothing special going on. So it's that means we go to 7-Eleven, drink some Slurpees. Man,
it's been a long time since I've really seen a 7-Eleven.
Anyway, guys, check out everybody's channels.
Yeah.
Thank you to everybody, both on Twitter, Kick, and Rumble, and YouTube. We love having a big audience. Can't wait to do more. Tune in tomorrow night. I will be playing 007, Everything or Nothing, because I want to get back into that world. And Tuesday is going to be Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Wednesday is Nightcast with me and Joker. Lots to talk about there. And Thursday we are going to be streaming more of Noir. We got into some really cool episodes. I cannot wait to see more of them. Friday is my day off from content. I'm going to be hanging out with the men's room and probably a few others like Bacon and them.
Yeah.
And Saturday night, I will be playing the Tony Hawk Remaster 3 and 4 edition. The cool thing is I can play music on it, not the license, because they have streamer mode, meaning they put generic music on there and everything, so I can stream it, which is beautiful. Which is a beautiful thing. It saves me from battling copyright all night.
Wow, you're on that list. I will need to check something real quick with Bob. Bob, what day of the week did you want to try to do our long Trek stream and go into all that shit?
I can do it whenever. I just had to
name a day of the week that you know I'm usually available, and we'll plan it out. That way everybody here that watches us knows to look for us that day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Monday or Tuesday afternoon is probably your best bets.
Okay, Tuesday's good.
Tuesday's good. We'll do it sometime in the early afternoon.
All right.
We'll have a Trek warring stream.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll dance on and spit on Kurtzman's grave.
Also, thank you to Rexus Prime.
Not advocating violence. We want them to live, to survive, and learn what a folly.
Yeah, when I say grave, I'm talking about his career grave, because he was fired because he's a bitch. So, sorry. I'm terrible. Anyway, sorry, anime.
Right. Yeah.
Anime.
Yeah, give me a minute. I'm trying to find a link real. But yes, we had so much fun tonight, and I'm very, very happy that we were able to do this. Everybody take care. We'll see you all soon.